All right, good evening. It's Saturday evening, about 8:42. We are coming to you live as we are tracking the possibility of severe storms. Right now, there are severe storms in Shannon County. It is on the doorstep of Carter County. First and foremost, if you don't mind, in the comments section, let me know that you can hear everything loud and clear. I'll wait real quick. If you don't mind, make sure that you can hear everything. If so, let me know, and we'll get started here shortly. Going to track some storms as they move in to the western parts of the area. Awesome. Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. Had to rush everything in and get everything set up, so I wasn't sure if the mics were on the way they should be or not. So awesome. Thank you so much. So this coming in tonight is not going to be like it was a few weeks ago. That is the good news. Although right now there is some severe storms just to the west of where we are right now, and we are watching Shannon County right now. We're talking golf ball size hail in Shannon County. It's going to be moving toward Carter and then Ripley and Butler County as well coming up throughout the evening. And we're going to be here as well. A lot of folks are tuning in. I'm ready, Nico. I'm ready for some baseball. So do me a favor, if you know somebody who lives in Carter County, Ripley County, possibly even Butler County, go ahead and tag them in the video post as we are just getting started. Let me know, by the way, what town you're watching from. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for pretty much all the area, with the exception of the Missouri Boot Heel, also New Madrid County, Scott County, those areas currently not under any kind of watch, but these storms are moving in from the west. Now, on the ticker, you're going to see it's going to say about 3 minutes and we'll start the program. That's not correct. We're going to come back in about 90 seconds. Give me a chance to get some water, and I'll come right back. Make sure and hit that share button for us, and hopefully it's not going to be too long of an evening, but we'll come right back in about 60 seconds, and we'll start tracking these storms as they move in from south central Missouri. We're back in 1 minute. All right, so we are back. We've got the ticker up in the upper part of your screen talking about the severe thunderstorm watch. By the way, tonight we are also doing something a little bit different. We've also added this video stream to our YouTube channel as well. So our YouTube channel is youtube.com/River Radio PB. That is youtube.com/River Radio PB. But we're also going to stay here on Facebook as well. So we'll answer your questions as we go throughout tonight. I'm by myself like I was a couple of weeks ago, so I'll try to do my best to get to every question that I possibly can. Thank you, Valerie, for that. We appreciate you so much. So first and foremost, let me switch screens here and let me go to the Memphis radar site. I love that site, especially for our area. I think it does a really good job, at least for what we're going to be tracking. So let me for those of you that know folks living in Carter County, let me go ahead and first off, let's talk about what the Weather Service is saying as of 8:45. So about 2 minutes ago, this severe thunderstorm warning for Shannon County Also in southeastern Texas County at 8:45, it was located over Summersville or 11 miles north of Mountain View, still moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. Now, golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust have been reported with this storm. It is radar indicated. So, here are the locations that's going to be impacted with this storm as of right now. Let me highlight these areas. We're talking Ozark National Scenic Riverways, also Birch Tree along Highway 60, Eminence, Summersville, also West Eminence and Pinecrest. Those are the areas right now that are going to be impacted by this severe storm. It is moving once again. It is moving southeast at 20 miles an hour, and the main threats right now with this storm is going to be the golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. As of right now, nothing true to the ground on the golf ball size hail. However, it is strictly radar indicated. And you can see here on the radar site, we are looking at the Memphis radar site. And you can see that hail core coming in to the north side of Birch Tree. It's going to go along Highway 60 into the western parts of Carter County. And throughout this evening, we're going to be checking multiple sites here. I'm going to be checking in with the Weather Service out of Paducah, also the Weather Service out of Springfield. So that way we keep you up to date on these storms. Sometimes Springfield, like right now, they actually talk amongst themselves about what they are seeing on radar. So right now, it is about 1.75 inch hail sizes have been reported in Shannon County in south central Missouri. That came about 8:45, and that's going to be about the size of golf ball size hail. That's what has been reported as of right now. So that is what the Springfield office is thinking. Don't have anything officially right now from Paducah. However, I will tell you as we track this out. Let's see, once again, this storm was moving southeast at about 20 miles an hour. So let me kind of zoom out here. I'm going to track this storm and kind of give you an idea of kind of where this is headed if it does hold together. We'll get to about right. We'll go ahead and go all the way down here. So we're going to go 20 miles an hour. And once again, like we said before, this is not going to be exactly what time these storms are going to be moving into your area, but it gives you an idea of kind of where we are sitting. So we're going to focus in on, I think I did that more toward Ripley County, Grandin, in about an hour and a half from right now, maybe a little bit sooner. We're looking at Grandin about an hour and a half from now. Also, Briar in about an hour and 20 minutes or so. Let's see here. Doniphan in about an hour and a half, hour to 45 minutes. So that's going to be about where it is. If it's moving very slowly, 20 miles an hour. That is about what these storms are going to be moving. And by the way, speaking of that, these are going to be very slow moving storms. So as we go throughout tonight, we're going to have a training effect that we're going to be really watching out for. Initially, we're going to have these severe weather issues that we're going to have right now, but then later on this evening, we're going to just see a repeat of storms over the same area. So once we get through the initial severe weather, then we're going to be watching out for the possibility of very heavy rainfall. Matter of fact, looking at the latest information, these areas right in here, that's going to be a prime area that we're going to see anywhere from 2 inches, maybe 3 inches. Some of these areas could even see a little bit more of in the way of rainfall coming in later tonight. So it's going to be really a 1-2 punch. Not really concerned about maybe tornadoes here tonight like we were a couple of weeks ago, but what we are going to be concerned with is the possibility of seeing some very large hail, some damaging winds, and then later on tonight, that's when we're going to see the heavy rainfall really start to creep up and become an issue, especially after midnight tonight, lasting into the first part of your Sunday. So that's kind of why we decided to go ahead and jump on here tonight. We saw this storm coming in to Shannon County, and we want to alert those if you know somebody who lives between Winona and Birch Tree. might want to go ahead and give them a call, maybe tag them in the video as this storm is barreling down toward those areas. Also, if you live in Van Buren, Grandin, also possibly just north of Donovan, also Naylor, Poplar Bluff, these storms, if it does hold together, it's going to be moving into our area coming in later on this evening, as these are very slow moving storms. So we're going to watch them as they develop. Also, we're going to be checking in with the Weather Service, kind of getting an idea from them exactly what they are thinking when it comes to our area, which is Carter County, Ripley County, Wayne, and Butler. Those areas, by the way, are currently under a severe thunderstorm watch until 1 a.m. on Sunday. Main threats will be large hail, also damaging wind gust, and possibly even an isolated tornado is all possible. But as of right now, we're not showing any rotation with these storms. We are just showing straight line winds right now and the possibility of seeing some large hail as well. Golf ball size hail, to be exact, is what we are thinking right now in that Shannon County storm. And we're going to watch that as it continues to make its way in from south central Missouri. So let me check real quick and see if there's been any updates from the Weather Service in Paducah. As of right now, no information coming in. Let me go back to the Springfield folks and let me see what they are thinking right now. They're talking about just flood warnings out in south central Missouri. Nothing new on the severe thunderstorm warning for Shannon County. Thank you so much, Carol. Appreciate the kind words. Actually, so this week it's kind of funny story. So I'm actually technically off work right now. I'm off until June 17th. So just going to be hanging out here at the house. But obviously, the big thing is keeping folks aware of the possibility of severe weather. So thank you to my wife for not being too mad at me for doing this. Actually, she's behind me 100%. So we're hanging out here just watching these storms, and we're not going to cut the feed. Although I did learn something the last time that we did a weather like this. I learned that Facebook says you've got 6 hours, and then at that 6 hour mark, we have to either cut the feed and start a new one, or it just kicks me off. And that's what happened to the last weather that we did, because for some reason at 6 hours on the dot, it literally just kicked me off. So I know now at 6 hours, if we go that long, hopefully not, I know to end the feed and restart another one. So thank you so much, Mila. Appreciate that. All the compliments. No, we do it because we care. That's why we're doing this tonight. We care about public safety and don't think it's going to be nearly as bad as what it was a few weeks ago. But still, with hail size around golf ball size hail and the straight line winds, especially being, dark time, we wanted to make sure that we were able to give you the information as we get it and as we see it as well. So what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to take away something real quick. We're under that severe thunderstorm watch. So let me kind of take the ticker away for right now, because we know we're under the watch. So we'll do that. So that way we kind of get rid of that. There we go. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that very much. Christy, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So right now, Paducah just let us know they are watching that same storm that we are following right now in Shannon County. We decided to go on a little bit earlier because it will be impacting folks in Carter County and Ripley County. If it does hold together, it will be making its way into Poplar Bluff later on this evening, or I should say Butler County, not necessarily Poplar Bluff, but Butler County. So we're going to keep watching this storm, and if it does fizzle out, hey, no harm. No harm done. We'll end the video, and we'll all have just a rainy night together, and I'm okay with that too. Had to get some water there. So let me go in. Let me kind of go in and kind of see where the hail is located right now with this particular storm that we are watching. And so I've seen a couple of things. Number one, the intensity of the hail has slightly decreased a little bit from from the latest scans, but we're still seeing the hail right in here, and that's going to be just north of Winona and the Birch Tree area. So we're watching that storm. There's still a hail core with it, maybe not as intense as what it was. And the good news is not seeing any kind of, there's no rotation with this storm, maybe just some very broad rotation, if that, not nothing tornadic. We're not expecting that at all. I'm on the Springfield. I'm going to go back to the Springfield radar site for just a minute here. I still like the Memphis radar site just because we're getting so far away. Shannon County is kind of really out there in no man's land when it comes to the various radar sites. I'm going to use Paducah with it coming in to western Carter County here in the next, I'd say 20 or 30 minutes. It will be impacting western parts of Carter, western parts of Ripley County coming up this evening. So we'll kind of wait and see what this storm does. There is some other storms out to the west, just north of West Plains, although I think that storm just north of West Plains, I think it's going to miss the majority of the area. It might be impacting northeast Arkansas, but the one storm that we are watching right now is this one right here, and that's moving southeast at about 20 miles an hour. If it does hold together, then the current thinking is it's moving this direction at around 20 miles an hour. So it's a very slow mover. So once we get the warning, if we do get a warning from Paducah, then we're really going to zoom in on it and stay with it. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep chatting with the Weather Service office in Paducah and in Springfield just to make sure that we're not missing anything. So I have delayed. Okay, so this same storm that we are watching right here, this is from the Weather Service out of Springfield. So this storm right here that we're watching right now, we are getting information from the Weather Service in Springfield, not now, but about 8:15 this evening around the Houston area. This storm did produce a potential wall cloud at about 8:15. However, it has since weakened significantly, so we're not seeing that right now. We are not showing anything to that effect as of right now, just possibly some large hail and possibly some winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. Other than that, we're not showing anything that's really scary with this storm other than the potential hail threat with this potential storm. And right now, nothing new from the Weather Service out of Paducah. In the latest weather scans, it has weakened a little bit, and that is some good news. So hopefully that trend will continue. But remember, Shannon County is out there in between all the radar sites between Springfield, Memphis. Paducah doesn't really get a good scan on this storm, but I will tell you there is a significant hail core still with this storm. And right now, the radar is estimating still going to be about an inch to an inch and a half in the size of hail. So it would not surprise me at all if the western parts of Carter County, maybe even the northwestern parts of Ripley County, ended up in a severe thunderstorm warning just because there is a significant hail core still with this storm as it moves at southeast at around 20 miles an hour. Let me go back to my comments here in Facebook here, make sure I didn't miss anything as I was talking there. Just want to make sure that I'm answering everyone's questions there. Awesome. A lot of folks watching from Poplar Bluff, Donovan, also Van Buren. Glad to have you guys alongside. See Anthony Moore is tuning in. Anthony, I'll see you tomorrow morning, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. So right now, this core of this storm right now is right in between Birch Tree and Winona, right along Highway 60 is kind of where the bulk of the storm is right now. So we're going to watch this as it moves southeast at 20 miles an hour. And really, as it continues to push southeast, western parts of Carter, the southwestern parts of Carter County, and then the northwestern parts of Ripley County, those areas are going to be really the ones need to be watching this storm very carefully. I know Betty is watching in Van Buren. Tell you what, it's going to be very close in Van Buren. Not going to say that you're not going to see anything, but I do think that the most severe part of this storm may stay just to the west of Van Buren. We're going to keep watching it. If it does hook farther east, I think Van Buren's back in play. But right now, it looks like the majority of the severe storm is going to be a little bit west of the Van Buren area. But it definitely bears watching for sure. And also, we are still doing this video tonight, doing something a little bit different on YouTube. You can still see the video. We're doing the video on YouTube here tonight. First time doing that to YouTube. So if you know somebody who likes to watch YouTube over Facebook, you can hit them up and tell them it's at youtube.com/River Radio PB. That's youtube.com/River Radio PB. Also, a big shout out to our good friends at PB Realty, Legacy Farm and Land Specialist. They always do a great job and they always step up in a big way sponsoring our severe weather coverage to make sure that we're able to come to you live. So we appreciate them. Also, if you don't mind, if you haven't done so already, hit that share button for us. We want to make sure that we can go back to my bosses next week and tell them that once again, our video was a big success. And we love to keep doing this and bringing you severe weather coverage, whether it's severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, whatever the case may be. We want to keep bringing you live coverage as long as you will let us. I know it's a Saturday evening. It's after 9 o'clock. A lot of folks are winding down on this Saturday. It seems like the last couple of times that we've had severe storms, Sunday during a holiday weekend and now on a Saturday night. Kind of how that goes. All right, Edwin tuning in from Poplar Bluff, Williamsville. Thank you so much. Let me check Paducah here. Usually when we're on the weather service chat, usually they will kind of let us know ahead of time if they're thinking of a possible a possible warning that might be issued. Right now, they are not showing anything. Let me make sure that nothing new. Still showing the golf ball size hail, so nothing new since 8:45 from the Weather Service office out of Springfield. So besides the severe storms tonight, the other big story is going to be the heavy rain. And we're going to have a lot of heavy rain coming in tonight into the first part of your Sunday. We're talking the whole area is under a flood watch until 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we're talking rain anywhere from 2 to 4 inches area wide. Some areas might see over 4 inches of rain, especially around, let's say, Wayne County, Butler County, westward. Those areas could see a little bit more than what is forecasted. I know somebody's tuning in from Thayer. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Rachel tuning in from Malden. Thank you so much. So all we're waiting for now, with it getting ever so closely now, it's right over the top of Birch Tree. Let me zoom in a little bit more here so that way you can see the different cities involved. So Birch Tree to Winona right now is going to be under the gun right now. That is where the heaviest of the storm is. Let me check and see if we have it. We've got the newest updated, scan. Let me see about the hail. So there it is. That red you see right there is going to be where the hail is most likely in this storm. It is just north of Birch Tree to the west of Winona. That is where the hail core is right here with this storm as it continues to move southeast at around 20 miles an hour. I know Melissa is tuning in from Van Buren. My good buddy Mark is tuning in from Wayne County. He's with the Sheriff's Department. Glad to have you alongside, Mark. I'm hoping at some point I'll run into you this summer at the lake sometime. If I do, you owe me supper, by the way, just so you know. So Birch Tree to Winona right now is going to be under the gun for seeing the most severe part of this storm. We're talking hail between quarters and maybe ping pong size hail. I don't think it's going to be about the golf ball that it was, but still, it's going to be over an inch right now of hail that we're going to be seeing, and that continues to move southeast at around 20 miles an hour along the Highway 60 area. So Grandin's going to be in play just west of Van Buren. We'll wait and see what the Weather Service out of Paducah does, but I would expect a possible warning coming in for Carter County, parts of Carter, and then possibly even southward into Ripley County as well. We'll kind of wait and see what they're thinking. Right now, they haven't updated anything here of late, but that hail core you see, that purplish color you see, is coming in right into the north parts of Birch Tree, right in between Birch Tree and Winona. So far, this has all been radar indicated. Nothing as of right now in Shannon County, although the EMA out of the Houston area in Missouri did report a wall cloud with this same storm. So we got a new radar scan. So the purple is gone, but still lots of lightning right now, some very heavy rainfall, some small hail coming into Birch Tree. We'll wait and see what Paducah decides to do with this storm as it continues to move southeast at around 20 miles an hour. So just checking the latest radar, or I should say the latest chat room with Paducah, and they continue to watch a very strong storm that's between Birch Tree and Winona, but nothing as far as issuing any kind of warnings as of right now. Still do have a hail core with this storm. It is over the 60 highway now between Birch Tree and Winona. Quarter size hail is is the main impacts right now with this storm. So we'll kind of wait and kind of see here exactly. There's no rotation with the storm. That is good news. Not expecting a tornado threat tonight. Not saying that we wouldn't see a tornado warning issued for a storm later on, but that's really not what we're thinking tonight's going to be the main issue. I think tonight's just going to be the large hail and the strong winds, and then it's going to turn into a very heavy rainfall event. That's going to be, honestly, the flooding concern is going to be the main issue. I was driving around today, and the good news is I know Black River here in Bluff, it's went back down, so we'll have to wait and see. Now I'm with you, Thomas. I don't think we're going to have that issue tonight. Not going to be nearly like it was a few weeks ago. That's long behind us now. But I think that so I'm getting a new track here with this storm. Let me kind of see here. So it's still moving southeast at around 22 miles an hour. So still at about 8:50 tonight, or make that 9:50. I'm sorry, 9:50. It's still going to be in the Shannon County area. Kind of gives you an idea of just how slow that these storms are going to be moving tonight. And it's not just the severe weather that we're thinking about. Now, the Weather Service did issue a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be moving into the Willow Springs area between Cabul and Willow Springs. It is also moving southeast. This storm, by the way, golf ball size hail reported, it is moving southeast at, once again, 25 miles per hour. So now, trained weather spotters with this particular storm, it did observe golf ball size hail. So that was near Cabul. So that one, if it holds together, it could impact maybe portions of Ripley County later on this evening, but it would have to hold together, and it's moving very, very slowly. So we'll have to wait and see what that means here. Let's see here. Had a couple of other questions I want to get to before I lost them. Where they go? There they go. Well, if the storm holds together that we're watching in Birch Tree, it's going to take, I would say, it's moving southeast at 20 miles an hour. So let me put on a track here on that storm. Somebody was asking about Poplar Bluff. So let me put a track on. It's going to take a long time being 20 miles an hour. So here is I'm just going to draw you a track here. somebody was asking about Poplar Bluff. So let me speed it up and go 25 miles an hour just to kind of give you a best case scenario. So we're thinking if this storm holds together, we're talking 38 minutes in Fremont. We're talking about an hour, 10 minutes in Hunter, Missouri. Let's see, Elsinore in about 92 minutes. Doniphan in about an hour and a half from right now. Fair dealing, about the same, an hour, 20 minutes. Poplar Bluff going to be a lot longer than that. We're talking for Poplar Bluff, we're talking in about 2 hours from now. So we're talking very, very, they got a new warning, by the way, that just was issued on that storm that we've been tracking. So let me get back to that. So we're talking about an hour, 25, hour, 30 minutes going to be in Ripley County, and then closer to 2 hours in Poplar Bluff. So the hail core has decreased a little bit, but they're still saying a half-dollar size hail. This one is a new severe thunderstorm warning. It is for southwestern Shannon County and north central Oregon County. This warning is in effect until 10 p.m. At 9:12, a severe thunderstorm was located near Birch Tree, 12 miles east of Mountain View, still moving southeast at 25 miles an hour, which I did track it at 25. Glad now that I did. Now, radar has indicated 60 mile per hour wind gust and a half-dollar size hail. We're not talking about the golf ball size hail right now, but still, here are some of the locations that are going to be impacted with this storm. We're talking Winona. We're talking Birch Tree. We're talking Eminence. We're also talking about Alley Spring. Those are the areas right now that could be impacted by this severe storm. We're talking winds in excess of 60 miles an hour and then half-dollar size hail that is currently being talked about right now with this storm. It's still moving very, very slow. So those times I gave you a moment ago are going to be pretty close. I did speed it up to 25 miles an hour, and that is exactly what this storm is moving. So 25 miles an hour is what this storm is moving at the current speed. Let me go back to, I had a bunch of comments come in. Hang on one second. You're welcome, Thomas. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Chris, I don't think this storm here that we're looking at here is going to make it into Dexter. Although, that being said, we can have a storm that could develop really anywhere. I think, honestly, the further east you are, like Dexter, possibly even Malden, we'll have to wait and see if these storms hold together. They're not moving very fast, so that's going to be against them. And it's just one of those, the setups is not what it was a few weeks ago. Now we still have a lot of, buoyancy in the air for these storms to work with, but still the atmosphere is not set up like it was a few weeks ago where we had those massive supercells. Tonight is going to be a lot different. We're talking just the main threats are going to be the large hail, the damaging wind gust, and possibly even an isolated spin up. But more importantly, tomorrow we'll watch the flooding issue become a pretty good concern coming up, I think, on Sunday. Let's see, how long for Bluff and Doniphan? Jordan, I think Doniphan's going to be about an hour and a half, closer to 2 hours in Poplar Bluff. And that's if it stays at 25 miles an hour. Right now, it's sitting at 25 miles an hour. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Bloomfield, I think Bloomfield is in the same situation. Ethel, I hope I said that name right. Sorry, the name is pretty far away from me here. I'm watching 3 different radar screens. I think Bloomfield, you're going to be okay for the time being. Now, there is some rain just to your north, but I think as far as severe storms go right now, nothing to worry about right now in Bloomfield. But once again, we could see storms that could develop at any given time. We're watching 2 big storms right now, one near the Mountain View area, one into Winona, and both of these are severe thunderstorm warnings. Both of them are out in south central Missouri. So those are the storms right now that we are watching very carefully. And I'm trying to see the new radar scan just coming in. The hail core is not as impressive as what it was, let's say, 5 minutes ago, which is great news. That's what we want to see. I'd rather this be a bust and we can all go to bed, no big issues. Kelly, let's see here. Grandin, it's a great question. Let me kind of zoom back in here. And I hope that I'm not zooming in too much to where you guys can't see. Let me draw this out here. Let's go 25 miles an hour. And let's see here. So let's see. Grandin, right now, you're talking, if this holds together, we're talking about an hour and 3 minutes. About an hour and 3 minutes away from Grandin if it holds together. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not going over a very heavily populated area right now. About 2,000 people right now. It's going to be in the path going in to the northern parts of Ripley County. Nevertheless, Grandin in about an hour, 3 minutes, and Doniphan in about an hour and almost an hour and a half from right now. If this storm holds together, once again, it's moving very slowly. Normally, when you have a big outbreak of severe storms, these race off to the east, maybe even southeast at around 60, but not tonight. These storms are moving very slowly and they are dumping a lot of rain. I know a lot of us got some rain this morning, and we're going to see more rain tonight, and the entire area is under a flood watch for the remainder of the night into tomorrow. And that will be with us until the early afternoon hours on Sunday. Right now, the indications are, the current thinking is that we can get anywhere from 2 to 4 inches area wide. Some areas could pick up about 5 inches of rain before it's all said and done. So just giving you a heads up that you may not see severe weather where you live tonight, but you could see very heavy rainfall. Let's see, Elsinore. I think on this storm, I think that Elsinore is going to miss out on the bulk of the activity. But that being said, I think that you guys will see impacts with this storm. So, oops, I went the wrong direction. There we go. So it's moving 25 miles an hour. So I think in Elsinore, possibly in less than 1 hour, 57 minutes is kind of the thinking right now that you could start to see some impacts with this storm. And if it holds like it is right now, I think that Elsinore will not see the main impacts with the storm, the most severe part of the storm. But you could see some very heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds. Somebody was asking about fair dealing and Oxley area. Bridget, let me kind of get back into that area. So, fair dealing and Oxley, let me go back in. Let me once again kind of pinpoint this out a little bit. All right. So, let's go in. See, Doniphan about an hour and 20 minutes from right now. Oxley in about, let's say, 95, or I should say, I'd say an hour 40, hour 45. About an hour and 40 in fair dealing also. So less than 2 hours if it holds together. But remember, it's going very slowly. It's not a normal storm. Normally, we're talking 50 to 60 miles an hour. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that, my friend. I don't think so, Megan. I really don't think tornadoes are going to be the issue tonight. Not saying that we couldn't see an isolated spin up, but tonight's storms are so much different than what we saw a few weeks ago. Tonight is just going to be the large hail, the damaging winds. Maybe could see a spin up, but I'm not really expecting tornadoes to be a big issue here tonight. I think it's just going to be the large hail and damaging winds. Greenville right now, Jessica. Everything looks good in Greenville. Nothing. You got some rain just to your north, but as far as severe storms, you're under a watch for sure. But as of right now, there's nothing imminent for Greenville. The areas that we're really watching out for right now is the western parts of Carter County, also northwestern Ripley County. We're watching this one storm, and it's been very strong tonight. This one right here is the one we're watching. We're also watching this one right here. Those two have produced some golf ball size hail this evening. and that's been confirmed as well. Holly, Van Buren. Van Buren's gonna. I think Van Buren honestly is gonna miss out on the most severe part of this storm. You're going to be impacted. I think Van Buren will be impacted with some thunder, some lightning, some heavy rainfall. But as far as the main threats with this storm, I do think it's just going to move just to your west if it stays on the current track. Now it could shift farther east, and we're going to watch that too. But some of that storm is just now coming into the western parts of Carter County along Highway 60. Let me check the Weather Service office real quickly here in Paducah and in Springfield. I just want to make sure that they didn't issue any kind of statement. Still have a hail core with this storm that is just over Winona. And right now, as I do that, let me kind of go in to see exactly where the main hail is. And as you can see, the hail right now is right over Winona. That is kind of what I was thinking a minute ago. That's kind of where the hail is right now. We're talking $half size hail, and we don't have any of the giant hail right now that we have seen in previous storms. At least for tonight, it's going to be between quarter size, maybe golf ball size, but I think even that is kind of dwindling down a little bit. Let me go back and see real quickly on the Weather Service in Paducah and in Springfield. Nothing right now from Paducah. Springfield, let's see if they've got anything to add with this storm that we're watching right now in Shannon and Oregon counties. And as of right now, nothing new other than 60-mile-per-hour winds. And we're talking still $half size hail. That is the latest information. I think, Jessica, I think that this will be the initial round that we're going to see this evening right now. And this could last until the severe thunderstorm watch goes until 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't think the severe weather threat will last that long. I'm thinking between maybe, I would say around midnight, between now and midnight. And that's because of these two storms on how slow they are moving. I think once we get to about 11 to midnight, it'll just turn into a heavy rain threat. And that's going to be the main issue after we get past midnight, because these storms are just going to train over each other. That's exactly right, Marty. Took the words out of my mouth. The rain is going to be torrential. They're moving very slowly, and we have a lot of humidity and moisture in the air. Very good, Marty. Absolutely, my friend. So that's kind of what's going to turn in. The severe weather threat initially will turn into a heavy rain threat for sure overnight. And area wide, I can't emphasize this enough. Area wide, we're talking 2 to 4 inches of rain, a very good likelihood, and possibly some areas could see even more than that. That's a likelihood. I would say it's a very high likelihood that somebody out of all this could see anywhere from 5 to 6 inches of rain before this event is said and done. So western parts of Carter County got a new warning here, it looks like. Let me dive into this and see. So this one just got updated. So a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 10 o'clock. This one is for south central Shannon County at 9:25, so less than a minute ago. A severe storm was located near Winona, or 16 miles east of Mountain View, still moving southeast at 25 miles an hour. So they kept the 60-mile-per-hour winds and the $half size hail with this storm. So locations in this storm, or locations related to this storm, are still the Ozark National Scenic Riverways, also Winona and Eminence. Those areas right now are what we are watching in this storm. It is moving off to the southeast at 25 miles per hour, so still hasn't really sped up at all. it is keeping that 25 miles an hour as it has pretty much all evening. So, Denise, if this storm holds together, we're talking about 2 hours from Popper Bluff. And I do think, honestly, if it holds together, it's going to be close. It actually could hit southern Popper Bluff, I think, the way it looks right now. Maybe the southern parts, or I should say really from central Butler County southward if it holds together, but it's moving very slowly at around 25 miles an hour. We don't have any rotation with these storms. It is just right now. And this one that popped up on the radar that is confirmed a 1 inch size hail just south of Winona with this storm. So let's kind of zoom in here a little bit, maybe too much there. Sorry about that. So it's starting to move into the southwestern parts of Carter County. So Van Buren, I think you're going to miss out on the more severe parts of this storm, but it's going to be knocking on the doorstep of northwestern Ripley County. You're welcome, Denise. No problem. Thank you for tuning in. Jeannie, thank you so much for watching. So I think the northern parts of Ripley County, southwestern parts of Carter County, that is going to be where we are thinking right now that the bulk of this storm is going to stay, at least for right now. And we're waiting for the new radar scan just popped up, and I'm not showing that hail core that we had earlier on, which is really good news. I'm not showing the hail core that we had earlier on. So this may turn into just being a thunderstorm, a strong storm, but we still wanted to jump on because it got close to our western counties, and that's kind of what we're doing now. I want to make sure we keep this going. So thank you for hanging in there with me. And I would much rather just say that we're going to be fine. This is just going to be a heavy rainfall threat, and then we can all go to bed. So we're coming up on 80 shares, by the way. We appreciate that. I would love to see us get to 100. If you haven't already done so, please hit that share button for me on social media. ETA for Donovan. We're talking about an hour and a half, Christina. These storms are moving very slowly at about 25 miles an hour. Let me check Paducah one more time. Now that it's really starting to, it's really going to get into the doorstep of northeastern Oregon County, also northwestern Ripley County, and a very small chunk of Carter County, it looks like as of right now. Okay, so, whoops, I'm on the wrong radar. I'm on the wrong chat site. There we go. So Paducah just issued this. They are still watching a strong storm as it moves in to the southwestern parts of Carter, northwestern Ripley. As of right now, there's no indications of a warning to be issued, but we're going to stay on the air for just a few more minutes. If this storm rains itself out, then we'll jump off and we'll keep watching them. And if something does pulse up to severe levels, then we'll go live again. But let me see kind of what Joseph, thank you so much. He is watching us on YouTube from the Harville area. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We are on YouTube here tonight. We just wanted to try it out to kind of see what it does. I bet so, Toby. I bet you look up and you'll be able to see a lot of lightning from Oregon County and Ripley County areas tonight. I bet the lightning can be seen far away with this storm. Let me check the hail. The last couple of scans have come in, and the hail really. So there's still quite a bit of hail just south of the Winona area. This red you see right here is where the bulk of the hail would be in this storm. And once again, this is completely radar indicated. There's been no ground truth to this particular storm right now as having a lot of large hail. But right here, just south of Winona, is where the hail would be in this storm as it continues to move off to the southeast at around 25 miles an hour. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm actually off work until June 17th. So, enjoying some downtime. But I kind of thought that today would be the day where if we did any kind of live videos, it would be today. And so far, we have been correct. After we get through tonight, minus the flooding, then if we do have any flooding, I don't think we're going to have any issues next week at all weather-wise. It's going to be hot. It will be hot next week later on, but as far as severe weather, this right here is going to be the main show, and then we'll kind of get quiet again for a little while. I'm looking off to the west. There's some big time storms that is out in south central Missouri. Those are going to miss our area, thankfully. And this storm here, just south of Winona, it very strong storm, but it's not got the hail core that it had, let's say, in half an hour ago. Still dumping a lot of rain, though. It wouldn't surprise me if some of these areas don't end up in a flash flood warning at some point, just because they're getting an awful lot of rain right now. There's no rotation with these storms, just the gusty winds and the hail. And right now, the Weather Service, let me make sure that they didn't update the weather. Nope, nothing updated. Still half-dollar size hail and wind gust at times of 60 miles an hour is what we are seeing right here on at least the radar. And we'll see. Nope, a new warning now has just been issued as I'm talking western Carter County. So here we go. So we're going to stay on the air. A brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This one for southwestern Carter County until 10 p.m. At 9:33, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles south of Winona or 18 miles southwest of Van Buren, still moving southeast at now 30 miles an hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail is expected with this storm. Let's talk about the locations in the area. Fremont is going to be the where this storm ends up. So it's now moving 30 miles an hour southeast at around 30 miles an hour. So let's go ahead and let's kind of give you, now that it's moving a little bit faster now, we're thinking 30 miles an hour is what they are saying. So let's go southeast here. Let's kind of give you an idea of some of these communities here to kind of let you know exactly. So Grandin in about 46 minutes from right now. Doniphan less than 1 hour, 57 minutes. Budapest in about an hour from right now is going to be when this storm makes its way into your area. Oxley there in Ripley County in about an hour and 10 minutes. Fair Dealing in about an hour, 15 minutes from right now. So those are just some of the areas that will be impacted by this storm. A very small portion of Carter County. It is the southwestern parts of Carter County that's going to be impacted by this storm. So thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. I'm not doing a very good job of keeping up with the comments on YouTube. Sorry about that. So western parts of Carter County right now is going to be impacted by this storm. It's going to stay off to the south of Van Buren. Fremont is going to be the areas where, just got this one from the Weather Service in Paducah. Yep, Carter County. So let me zoom back out just a little bit. Sorry about that. I zoomed in way too much. So between Van Buren and Winona right now along Highway 60 and Fremont is the areas right now that is going to be impacted by this storm. We're talking quarter-size hail. We're talking wind gust of 60 miles per hour for Carter County right now with this storm. And we've seen this storm march across Summersville, also Houston, Missouri. It dumped golf ball size hail actually with this storm. It continues to move off to the southeast at around 30 miles an hour, but don't let your guard down in northern Ripley County either. Even though there's not a warning in your area, this part of the storm right here is also very intense, and it's moving off to the southeast as well at around 25 to 30 miles an hour. So just because right now Carter County is under the western parts of Carter County is under a severe thunderstorm warning doesn't mean that northern parts of Ripley County will not be also in the warning coming up shortly as well. Poplar Bluff, I think the way this storm is moving right now, I do think Poplar Bluff will miss out on the most severe part of this storm. But don't let your guard down if you live in Butler County. Just keep in mind it's moving very slowly at around 25 to 30 miles an hour. So, Toby, that's going to be is that in Ripley County or is that going to be in Oregon County? I'm not sure where that is. So right now there's no rotation with the storm. Let me kind of zoom back in. Let me see where the hail is with this storm. So right now the hail actually with this storm is right there on the Oregon and the Shannon County line. That's kind of where the main thread is right now with the hail. A little bit of hail just around the Fremont area. Not a lot. I would say very small hail there around Fremont, but that's kind of where the most severe, intense part of the storm is. Let me go back to the high resolution there. There we go. So that's kind of what we're thinking right now. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning for western parts of Carter County. It expires in 21 minutes. Let me jump over real quickly to the Weather Service real quickly, and let me see what they are saying here. I want to make sure that in case they issue any new information, I want to make sure that I'm able to get that information out there pretty quickly. Okay, so they're just saying that they're watching that severe storm as it crosses into Carter County and also watching out for the northern parts of Ripley as well with that storm that we're talking about here. Oregon, Ripley County. Thank you, Toby. I thought that was kind of where you were, kind of going to be on the Oregon side or the Oregon County side. You'll be impacted pretty quickly, Toby, if you're not already. If you're not, I know you're seeing the lightning. You'll be impacted pretty quickly with this storm as it continues to move southeast at around 30 miles an hour now. That is the only storm right now that we have. We see some other rain that is moving across the area. Nothing severe. The only storm that we are watching right now that is severe is the one in western Carter County. And with that storm, we're talking quarter-size hail. We're talking winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. It looks like that the storm that is starting to move in to it's just on the doorstep of Ripley County. It's about to move into actually Carter County, and then we'll cross over to Ripley County. It looks like it is maybe getting a better hail core with it. So it definitely is. I would say right in here is where, even though there's not a warning out for this particular area, right in here is kind of where the biggest hail core is with this storm as it continues to move southeast, which is why I'm telling folks, if you live in Ripley County, you know somebody that lives in the western parts of Ripley County, go ahead and tag them in this video. They're not under a warning right now, but if this storm continues to hold together, then it will be impacting those areas coming up. Let's see here. I know I've been missing some. I see Poplar Bluff. I think Neil, with this storm, I really do think that we may see some rain out of it for sure, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of severe weather with this storm. Now, not saying that one could not develop somewhere else. I'm just saying that right now with this storm, I'm not really expecting much out of this storm, at least right now. But if you live in Neelyville, Naylor, Culin, that's a different story as it continues to move its way in from south central Missouri. Fair dealing. Let me track this storm just a little. Let me move this down a little bit. So let me get a new scan. And I know the warning, and I know the warning is right here. This is where we're watching the warning at. But the most intense part of this storm is a little bit farther to the west of where the warning is. So I'm going to track out where the most intense part of the storm is. That way it kind of gives you a better idea. And they're saying 30 miles an hour right now is kind of what the last check was. So let me see. So Donovan, if this storm holds together, let me back up a little bit. In Handy in about 16 minutes, in Briar 38 minutes, in Donovan in about 54 minutes from right now. Let's continue on. Oxley in about 70 minutes, so an hour 10 minutes. Fair dealing in about 74 minutes, so an hour 15 minutes roughly in fair dealing. Harville in about an hour 20. Neelyville an hour and a half. Kind of gives you an idea of kind of where we're at with this storm, because it is moving very slowly, still moving at 30 miles an hour, not a very good clip at all. So I think in Poplar Bluff, a lot of folks asking about Bluff, the way it looks right now, unless it goes farther east, I think from really from the Bluff south is where this storm is going to make its way in. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But it could move farther east, and if it does, we're going to stay here. We're going to track it. And keep in mind, those times I gave you, don't take it for gospel. I'm just tracking it out at 30 miles an hour. It could slow down. It could speed up. It kind of gives you an idea of when you can expect this storm if it holds together. And I hope it falls apart. Honestly, that would be great if we can go to bed early and get some sleep. I'm just saying. Looking at the latest scan that's come in, and still that in the northern parts of Oregon County, there's not a warning out for that area right now. It's so far away from the radar site too. But that's the strongest part of the storm. I know there's a severe thunderstorm warning for western Carter County, but in that area, all that's coming up on radar right now, I don't even think there's even hail showing up. Let me check real quickly. Let me make sure that is correct. So just the main area of that severe thunderstorm warning, the hail is right about in here, and not really where the warning is per se, but that's where the strongest part of the storm is. It continues to move off to the southeast at around 30 miles an hour. So that being said, we're going to stay with this storm. We're not going to go anywhere. I may get some water here in just a moment, but nevertheless, that's kind of what we're thinking. And if you know somebody who lives in northwestern Ripley County, I would say from Donovan back westward, I would go ahead and tag them in the video. Whoops, my bad. I would tag them, maybe send them a text and let them know that a very strong storm is heading their direction, moving at around 30 miles an hour. And like we said earlier on, once we get past this initial severe weather threat, that's when everything shifts and it goes into a heavy rain threat. And we're talking multiple inches of rain overnight. So between now and tomorrow morning, as we wake up, as these storms continue to move in from the west, moving at around 30 miles an hour, and I've been looking at some of the weather warnings out of Springfield. A lot of flash flood warnings already coming from the Springfield area. So keep in mind that these storms are moving in as we speak, and we may not get severe weather, but we will get heavy rainfall for sure. That is almost a guarantee. Checking some of the latest information coming in from Paducah, also in the Springfield area. Still watching that strong storm in northwestern, or make that northeastern Oregon County. Nothing right now in Paducah. They're still looking at that storm very carefully in Carter County. Let's see here. Let me go to Springfield, and nothing new. They are monitoring. So they are monitoring that storm in northeastern Oregon County. No warnings on it yet, but they are watching it very carefully. And that is the storm that will make its way into Ripley County. There's also a big time storm way off to the west. I don't think it's going to impact any of our counties only because it's moving so slow. But there is a pretty impactful storm that is just northwest of West Plains. This one right here. Can you see that on the screen? There we go. That's a nasty storm right there. And I don't think I'm pretty sure it's not going to be impacting any of ours. But it's moving. Let's see how fast it's moving. Yeah, southeast at 20 miles an hour. So yeah, it's probably not going to be impacting any of ours. Now, interesting. So we just talked about how strong that storm is, and there is the new warning that's just been issued as we were talking about this in Oregon County, north central Oregon County. This just popped up. So this is going to be on the doorstep of Ripley County very, very soon. So let me kind of go back here. So in northeastern Oregon County until 10:15 at 9:47, a severe storm was located 9 miles west of Handy or 19 miles southwest of Van Buren, moving southeast at 20 miles an hour. So it's even slowed down a little bit. We're talking 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Locations impacted with this storm are Wilderness and Greer. Those are the areas that'll be impacted by this storm there in Oregon County. So this one is the one that we were talking about that had the bigger hail core with it, and it was the strongest storm. And right here on cue, the Weather Service out of Springfield just issued that warning. And I'm seeing the hail core now starting to really get going in right there on the corridor of Carter County, Oregon County. So we're going to stay with this storm. This one's going to be the one to watch at least for a little while. So this one is starting to intensify a little bit. The hail core. Let me see what the radar is showing as far as where the hail is, and more importantly, what it's yeah. So right there, exactly where that warning was located is where the hail is, and we're talking. We're still talking quarter size hail right now. We're not. Nothing leads me to believe, at least right now on radar, that we're seeing gigantic hailstones with this storm, but still quarter size hail, that's enough. I mean, that's definitely enough. Other than that, no other warnings right now as I back out. We got some rain to the north of Poplar Bluff, north of Dexter, no storms right now. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning for western Carter County and now the northeastern parts of Oregon County. And that's important because that's going to be moving into Ripley County here very shortly. Let's see, Caitlin. I think this round for this storm, yes. I don't think we're going to have any impacts with this storm. Now, if you live south of Poplar Bluff, a different story if it holds together. However, just remember that we're not seeing storms right now, but we can get one to form, pop up at anywhere. I think once we get past this initial round of storms, I do think that it's going to turn into a heavy rain threat. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Toby, the storm. Yep, I figured it would be. It was knocking on your doorstep. Let's see. I'm gonna check the hail once again on that one to see. We got the newest. So yeah, the hail was still where we said it was right here. That's kind of where the biggest hail is, the quarter size hail. That's going to be the main threats with this storm. It's in portions of western Carter, northeast Oregon County, and it's moving still. And a new severe thunderstorm warning has just popped up for western Ripley County, right on target as we were talking about that. So this one is showing quarter size hail. Let me back up a little bit here. Quarter size hail, winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. This one is for western Ripley County in southeastern Missouri until 10:30 this evening at 9:51. A severe thunderstorm was located near Handy or 18 miles southwest of Van Buren. It's still moving southeast at around 30 miles an hour. Locations, by the way, the 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail in this storm We're talking Gatewood, Handy, and Briar are all going to be in the areas with this particular storm. Gatewood, Handy, and Briar will go ahead and track this thing out, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. So, if you live in western Ripley County, now is the time to maybe tag somebody. If you know somebody who lives in that area, let them know that they've got a strong storm moving in their direction, and it continues to move southeast at 30 miles an hour. Right now, that hail core, the biggest hail core, is going to be right in this area here, which is the southwestern parts of Carter, northeastern Oregon County, about to move in to the western parts of Ripley County as well. Toby, got the winds and the hail at your area, and you're right there on the Oregon and Ripley County line. So it's going to be moving into Ripley County very, very soon. Toby, you think it's, what is it, quarter size you think out there? Or is it a little bit smaller where you live? Kind of gives us an idea of what's going to be coming in to Ripley County here very shortly. I still say this storm, I do think it's going to miss Popper Bluff. I would say that Bluff would possibly, get maybe some gusty winds. I don't think it's going to be in excess of 60 miles an hour, but I do think they'll get some winds with this. There's also the possibility of maybe some small hail, but I do think the majority of this is going to miss the Popper Bluff area. A little bit smaller than quarter size. That's good news, Toby. Thank you so much. I'll pass that information on to the Weather Service in Paducah and let them know that there's some smaller hail moving in to Ripley County as of right now. So this is the storm that we are watching. Let me check the hail on it real quick, and let's see exactly where the hail is located with this storm. And right now hasn't moved much. It's right there on the line, Carter County, Oregon County line. That red you see is where the hail is right here. Still waiting for that newest radar scan to come in, but right there is kind of where we're thinking the hail is with this storm as it continues to move southeast at around 30 miles an hour. Still seeing a little bit of purplish in this storm, which would indicate the bigger hail with this storm. We've kind of seen it kind of cycle down a little bit, and then it's gotten heavier. Although I will tell you, I know, Toby, you live in Oregon County. There is a bigger storm off to your west, and that one's going to be impacting West Plains. It's not going to be impacting much in our area, but just to give you a heads up, since you do live over there in Oregon County, that's kind of the storm coming into the West Plains area. Still no rotation with these storms, no tornado warnings, just these severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got one for western Carter County, and really it is the southwestern parts of I should say Carter County. It is just south of Highway 60 in a very rural area in Carter County. It's about to move in to the northwestern parts of Ripley County as we speak. And this one, let me pan this out and let me kind of give you some times on this storm. I'm going to go from the most intense part to the storm, and we're going to move it southeast, and we're going to go 30 miles an hour, kind of give you an idea of when you might see some impacts with this particular storm. So Briar in about 19 minutes from right now. We've got that one. Doniphan in about 34 minutes if this storm holds together. Now, right now, the Doniphan area is not under a warning as of right now, but not saying you wouldn't be, just as of right now. Doniphan is not impacted with the warning, but that may be altered here very shortly. Doniphan 34 minutes, also in Oxley in about 49 minutes, and then Fair Dealing in 53 minutes, Naylor in less than 1 hour from right now. If it holds together and we track this at 30 miles an hour is what we tracked it as. So as long as it stays on that current track, those times not going to be exact, but it's going to give you an idea of when you might see some rough weather coming into your area here this evening. It's 3 minutes now until 10 o'clock, and let me going to get a drink of water real fast Not going anywhere, just going to get me a drink of water and be back in about 30 seconds. All right. Sorry about that. Had to get a drink of water real fast. Hear my son in the background here kind of moaning. He's watching radars as well. All right. Tina, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay with it until it decides to rain itself out, whichever one happens first. All right. So the storm now, the heaviest part of the storm, I want to zoom in for just 1 minute here. So, yeah, so we're starting to see a bigger hail core as it moves in to the northwestern parts of Ripley County. We got the newest radar scan. Let me check one thing real fast. I want to make sure. Yeah, so definitely the hail core has definitely gotten bigger with this storm. So let me go back and let me see what the radar is indicating here. So it's not indicating really anything bigger than quarters right now. That red you see there, that is kind of indicating quarter size hail. And you can also see that you see that one right here, that yellow. That's where the 1 inch hail was reported, actually confirmed. So that's about where we were tracking the heaviest part of this storm. But what I did notice on the last radar scan, you can see that purple. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that way you can see it. That purplish color right here, that is the bigger hail core with this storm. So it is moving in to the northwestern parts of Ripley County right now as we speak. It's on the Oregon Ripley County line. Elsinore, you're going to miss out, Skylar, on this particular storm. It's not. You may get some rain, some thunder, maybe some gusty winds. But I do think with this storm right now, I think you're in the clear from severe weather. But I think later on this evening, you still have a chance to see storms and possibly heavy rainfall as well. But right now, our main attention is going to stay with northwestern Ripley County, and that is because we do have a significant hail core that has really started to develop in the last 10 minutes, and it is starting to move in to the western parts of Ripley County right now. So let me track that hail core. We're going to track it from the hail core at 30 miles an hour. Let me go back and let's do that again. Let me get you some new times here since this storm has really started a little bit to intensify. So Briar in 30 minutes, Handy in about 6 minutes. So about 10:06, it'll be in the Handy area. About 10:30 in Briar, Donovan about 10:45, and then Oxley at about, if it holds together, 11 o'clock tonight. Fair dealing a little past 11 o'clock as well. If it holds together, Naylor in about an hour and 10 minutes. If this storm continues to hold together, that is, and I track that from where the strongest part of that storm is. And the newest scan is showing, not showing as heavy as a hail core. And that's what this storm has done. It's pulsed up and then it's kind of weakened a little bit and then it will pulse up again. We've seen that a few times here with this storm. So right now, the heaviest part is moving into Ripley County. I don't believe we have any rotation with this storm. We'll check it just because. Nope, just gusty winds. It's just going to be gusty winds, nothing tornadic about this storm, which is really good news after what we experienced a few weeks ago. I'll take the gusty winds as long as it's not terribly gusty winds. All right, so have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one for Carter County just popped up. Let's go ahead and get you this one. This one is reporting quarter size hail. And this one is for southwestern Carter County. This one is issued at 10:01. It's in effect until 10:30. And let's see here, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter size hail is with this storm. Let's see here. This one is a severe storm over Handy or 15 miles southwest of Van Buren. It is moving southeast also at 30 miles an hour. Locations in this will be over rural areas of southwestern Carter County with this storm. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Carter County, the southwestern parts, and the western parts of Ripley County as well. Oh, and don't be sorry at all. Let me get to that, Christy. Hang on one second here. Let's see. K Highway. Let me go back to these comments here. So we'll get to Donovan in just a moment. Let's focus on Grandin here for just a moment. So Grandin, is that what you're asking about, Christy? I want to make sure. Okay, so you live 5 miles from Grandin on top. It is, if you live 5 miles, I think the heaviest part of the storm, Christy, is gonna move off to your south. I don't think you'll be impacted with much in the way of the hail. Maybe some gusty winds, Christy. Definitely some heavy rain and some lightning, but I don't think you'll be impacted with the most severe part of the storm if it holds together like it's doing right now. If it still goes southeast, I think you'll be okay. Now you will see the rain, the thunder, the lightning, maybe some gusty winds, and we're saying when I say gusty winds, I'm talking about maybe 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. Not saying that it's going to be, 60 mile per hour winds, but we'll keep watching that very carefully. No problem, Christy. What should we expect in fair dealing, Aaron? I would say fair dealing, if this storm holds together, still going to be about an hour from now in your area, Aaron. And we're talking, quarter size hail. We're talking wind gust of 60 miles an hour, and then obviously the lightning, the rain to go along with it. But right now, the main area of concern with these storms is going to be about right in here, those areas right here. So you can look on the map, and if you live in those areas, then that is the biggest threats right now of the main concern. But it is moving off to the southeast at around 30 miles an hour. Now, that being said, a new warning has just popped up, and that's because of these lines of storms. And this is for the entire county, pretty much, of Oregon County, also Howe and Oregon County. So they've got some big time storms out in south central Missouri. I think these are not going to be impacting us. However, might be maybe the western parts of Ripley County, which is why we're going to stay with this storm. We're going to keep watching it as it continues to move southeast very slowly at around 30 miles an hour. Now, if it shifts and goes a little bit east then southeast, then we could see more of an impact in Butler County as well. See Bradley, Alton. That's going to be in Oregon County. You're going to be impacted by this severe thunderstorm coming up here. You guys were just issued. It's a quarter size hail and 60 mile per hour wind gust, and really, you guys are on the doorstep right now with this storm, Bradley. So if you live in Alton, that's what you can expect coming up very shortly, as the heaviest part of the storm is just off to your north, but it's also moving southeast at around 30 miles an hour. So let me wait for the latest radar scan here, and let me see what it shows. Still a hail core on northeastern Oregon County coming into Ripley County, which is where the warning is right now. Still have nothing right now as far as there's some rain in Wayne County, Missouri. All right, Miss. All right, Miss Bridges, help me out here. You got to tell me. I'm not. Is Myrtle in Oregon County? I should know that, and I'm sorry about that. Karen, see 21 and KK Highway and Donovan, Budapest. You're going to be impacted with this storm coming up in the next 35 to 40 minutes in Budapest and the Donovan area, Angie. And right now, the radar indicates about quarter size hail, wind gust of nearly 60 miles an hour. Thank you for that. So Myrtle, here we go here. So this is Oregon County I'm zooming into real quickly. There's a hail core that's just popped up on the north side of Alton. That's where this storm is moving southeast, also at 30 miles an hour. I'm going to put that, hang on one second. Let me get this, let me move the map over a little bit here. Okay. Gotta love technology. There we go. I want to make sure that you can see the map here on your screen just like I'm seeing it. I don't think we're going to have any tornadoes, Bradley. I think it's just going to be a large hail threat, damaging wind threat. Tonight's setup is not at all what we had a few weeks ago. That's kind of one of those rarities. We don't have that very often. Tonight is just going to be the winds and the rain. Or I'm sorry, the winds and the hail. So Dennis, Oxley, and Naylor in about an hour to an hour 10 minutes. These storms are moving very slowly. We're talking 25 miles an hour is how fast these storms are moving. I've been looking at the weather service in Paducah, kind of seeing what they're saying about the storms. Right now, they're still showing small hail and still wind gust of nearly 60 miles an hour. So that's kind of where we are right now with that storm. Looking at the weather service office in Springfield, they've got some damage reports way out west. Let's see here. That new severe thunderstorm warning just issued for all those counties: Howell, Oregon, Shannon, Ozark, those counties. Those storms are still moving southeast at around 30 miles an hour. Now, there is a possibility that these storms, as they merge together, could take more of an easterly track. So, if that does happen, then that's going to open up the other parts of the area, Butler County, also Stoddard County as well. Right now, though, they're moving southeast. So, as long as that continues to happen, I think Poplar Bluff will be spared, but I do think south of Poplar Bluff could be impacted by these severe storms. So if you're on the Oregon Ripley County line, Karen, that's where this storm is moving in right now. That's kind of where the heaviest part of the severe storm is, Karen. We're talking quarter size hail, winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. I haven't had any kind of damage reports with this storm, but obviously it's dark outside right now. And you're probably already seeing the lightning right now with these storms as they move in from the west. The good news is we don't have I'm not saying it's not there, but right now we don't have a high, it's very, very low tornado threat. So right now the biggest threats are going to be the hail and the strong winds as well. Let's see here. Thundering and lightning pretty good right now. I figured it was, Christy. Absolutely. Yes and no, Gail. So the severe storms will be over by morning. Yes, this is going to turn into a heavy rain threat. It'll be, we're talking 2 to 4 inches area wide. Some areas could pick up, 5, maybe over 5 inches of rain. Very heavy winds right now, Bradley. That's going to be over there in Oregon County, correct? Because I can see there's more of a strong storm in Oregon County than what I'm seeing right now in the northern parts of Ripley. I still say the most strongest part of the storm is going to be in northern Ripley County. I know folks are asking about Grandin, but Grandin, I think, is going to be spared right now. You're going to hear some thunder, see some lightning, and obviously hear the rain. But as far as the hail and the heavy winds, I don't think Grandin will have a lot to do with that right now. 142 east of Doniphan, you betcha. So that's where, did I read that right? East of Doniphan. So this storm, as it moves in, it's going to hit that area. Let me track it out for you. I'm going to go to the heaviest part of the storm. Still, let me make sure there wasn't an update here. So this was the newest update here, which is about a minute ago. At 10:09, a severe storm was located near Handy, 17 miles northwest of Doniphan, still moving southeast at 30 miles an hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and quarter-size hail. And the locations still impacted include Gatewood, also Handy, and Briar. Those are the areas right now that'll be under the gun with this storm. Let's go. Let me track this out to give you some times. I'm going to go from where the storm is coming. Whoops, there we go. So let's go southeast. And let's do 30 miles an hour to kind of give you an idea. And once again, these times are not exact, they're just giving you an idea. So in Briar in 15 minutes, Donovan in about 30 minutes. You can see that there on your screen. Let's continue to go down. Oxley, 45 minutes from right now. Fair Dealing, 51. Naylor in about 54 minutes. And then if it holds together, it could impact southern parts of Butler County around Neelyville. And that would take place in about an hour or so if the storm does hold together. I don't think the Brosley area, Ashley, is going to be impacted by this storm. I do think that if unless it moves farther east, as of right now, the southeasterly track, I don't think it's going to get into the Brosley area. But if it does take a more easterly track, then yes, it very well could. So the good news is with this storm, I haven't heard of any kind of damage reports. I know that right now in Oregon County, western parts of Ripley County, those are the areas where we are seeing the most of the activity. And with these storms right now, we're talking about quarter size hail. We're talking winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. And that has been the case pretty much all evening so far. See, Josh, not going to be as bad as it was a couple of weeks ago. No, 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 not showing rotation, Bridget. Still just heavy winds, and I say heavy winds, gusting to 60. The hail is going to be the main issue with these storms here this evening. Maybe some wind gust of 60. Let me go back and see. Whoops, there we go. I want to go back and kind of see exactly where the hail is with the storms. So here's where the hail is. And we're not talking about really big size hail with these storms either. This is about where the hail size is, or I should say the biggest hail is with these storms. It is right now in northwestern Ripley County, still in Oregon County. It is still very northwest of Donovan as this storm continues to move southeast at around 30 miles an hour. Let me put this back into motion here. Let's see here. 142 east side of Donovan, very muggy outside. Yep, you're going to see that. It's going to be in your area in about 30 minutes from right now is what I think we had a minute ago. So there's no warning for Donovan right now, but I'm just saying that obviously Donovan could be impacted in this storm. I'm watching a new storm start to develop. It is along Highway 67, just north of Neelyville. That one's not severe, just got some rain with it right now. Nikki, don't I? It's not going to be as bad as it was. I can promise you that. I mean, we're not talking about tornadoes here tonight. Not saying that it's a zero chance, but the setup is not like it was a couple of weeks ago. It's a lot different setup tonight. It's just going to be about the maybe some large hail, and when I say large hail, maybe quarter size hail, maybe some strong winds. But this is going to quickly turn into a heavy rainfall event. And I know a lot of folks are talking about the humidity outside, and that is why these storms are going to be very much in the way of rain producers overnight. We're talking 2 to 4 inches of rain pretty much area wide. Some areas could even get up to 5 inches of rain because these are going to be slow moving storms, and we're seeing that right now. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. We are watching a storm, or not a storm, but a shower starting to form just north of Neelyville, but it's got a long way to go before it gets its act together. Popper Bluff, as of right now, it's going to miss out. I think Bluff. I still hold this. I think Bluff is going to miss out on the most intense part of this storm. But let me check in with the weather service really quickly here and make sure that I'm not missing anything from our friends in Paducah, which is where we get our warnings from, by the way. We get our warnings from Paducah from most of our area. The Boot Heel gets our warnings from Memphis. So nothing new, nothing new from either Springfield or Paducah. Let me look at the latest radar scan here to kind of analyze it just a little bit. And we still do have that hail core that's coming in to it's right now it's on the western or on the county line of Ripley and Oregon. So Oh, absolutely, Amanda. Yeah, I can only imagine. A lot of folks had some storm damage the last time, and obviously, severe storms is not what we want to see tonight. But the good news is, like we said, it's not going to be. We're not talking about the same setup. So I hope that helps a little bit. I know a lot of folks are nervous, but tonight we're talking about just some quarter size hail, some strong wind gusts, and the heavy rainfall is going to be the biggest threat when this is all said and done tonight. See some thunder, lightning, and rain in Grandin. Thank you, Tricia. Appreciate that. Wapapello, you're just seeing some rain right now. Not seeing storms. Not going to see storms in this bulk that we're seeing right now. Oh, I bet, Lisa. I got a chance to tour those areas that got hard hit in Ripley County and Butler County, and yeah, it was just amazing to see all the damage that was over in that area. Let's see, Piedmont. Let me switch radar sites here. Yep, there's another storm north. I've been focusing on the south part of the area. Let me go over to. There's another storm that is moving southeast. This one is showing 3/4 inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This one's in Iron County and northeastern Reynolds County until 11:15. It is moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. So this will be the next storm that possibly could be impacting parts of our area. This could be impacting Wayne County here this evening as well. We're going to watch this storm as it continues to move in from the north. So, like we said a moment ago, these storms can pop up at anywhere really, and we were expecting that to happen. So, we've got two sets of storms that we are watching right now. We're watching this storm right in here, and now we're going to be watching this storm right in here as it continues to move southeast. Both of these storms are, by the way, moving very, very slowly. So they're not moving fast. They're very efficient rain producers, and they're moving very slow. This storm up here moving into the southern parts of Iron and Reynolds County is showing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 3/4 size hail. And the ones down south have been primarily showing bigger size hail of quarter size and less on the winds. So we're going to watch these two sets here very carefully. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here so that way where you're watching you can see both storms. You kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here. I appreciate you, Brittany. I really do. I know it's a lot to take in. I'm by myself watching two different radar sites and trying to make sure we answer about the comments. And I know I'm missing comments, and I apologize. Bear with me on that. We will get better at this, I promise you. Right now, Gail, Kennett's in good shape. Now, if these storms that are in the southern part of the state hold together, then yes, we'll be talking about the Boot Hill a lot more coming up here this evening. That I can promise you. Right now, though, we're going to focus on the two storms, the two sets of storms that we're watching very carefully. So I would say if you know somebody who lives in, let's say, Greenville, for example, you may want to go ahead and tag them in this video because eventually these storms will be moving into those areas. And as I said that, I'm going to go back down to the southern storm for just a few minutes because a a a hail signature has just popped up, 1-inch size hail, has popped up in the northwestern parts of Ripley County, which is where this storm is currently located. Let me check the radar site here. Let's see about the hail here. So it's kind of what I was thinking. The hail has it's decreased a little bit, but they're still there. It's still very much there in the northwestern parts of Ripley County. It's just decreased quite a bit, which is good news. Don't want to let your guard down though, because obviously these storms have had a history of cycling down and then kind of getting stronger again. So we'll be watching that very carefully. Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate that. I know I said this earlier on, but technically I'm on vacation this week, technically, but that's okay. I'll be back in the office on June 17th. The good news is once we get past tonight, we shouldn't have any more severe weather, at least until I get back. That is the plan anyway. But I'll have my computer with me at home, so if something does happen, we'll be able to go live. No hail yet, just high winds and rain. Yep, that's over there. Is that in Oregon County, Bradley? On Highway 21 North. So right now we're watching two sets of storms. If you're just tuning in with us here tonight, it's 10:22. Let me reset everybody real quickly. The entire area, with the exception of the Boot Heel, is under a severe thunderstorm watch. And we've got a couple of warnings here that we're watching, two sets of warnings that we're watching. We're watching the ones around Arkansas, Missouri state line. We're also watching another storm that is knocking on the doorstep of Wayne County. Actually, this storm looks like it's going to be our stronger storm of the two. So lots of lightning with both sets of storms. And these storms, by the way, are going to be very, very much of rain producers. No doubt about that. They're moving very slowly. And we do have that flood watch in effect for the entire area tonight. And that's going to go pretty much all night long. It'll last until about 1 p.m. tomorrow. So I know a lot of folks. Piedmont? Let's see. Let me see here. Let me zoom in. I'm going to zoom into this storm here. And I'm on the wrong radar site. So let me go to the St. Louis one here. It may give me a better indication. You know what? I don't like that one. Let me go back to what I had. So this one. So this is the newest update, came out at 10:21 for this storm in Reynolds County and Iron County. Still moving southeast at 35 miles an hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds and penny-size hail. So let's track this thing out for those of you that live in Piedmont. Let me give you a better idea of when it might be in your general area. So I want to track it from the strongest part of the storm. And we're going to go 35 miles an hour here. And let's see here. So Piedmont, 26 minutes from Piedmont. Also Williamsville in about, let me back up here. Piedmont, 26 minutes. Greenville, 42 minutes. And Williamsville, we're talking about 50 minutes from right now. Now, this storm, as they continue, if it holds together, it will be impacting quite a bit of Wayne County. So this one does have a hail core on it. You see that purple color. But for those of you living in Piedmont, 25 minutes. Also Greenville, 42 minutes. And Williamsville in about 50 minutes. The main threats with this storm is going to be 3/4-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with this particular storm. And we're still watching the severe thunderstorm warning for western Ripley County. Let me see if there's any updates on this one when it comes to the text. And nothing as of right now. Everything is still about the same. There is some storms now starting to form on the northern parts of Doniphan. Now, once again, these parts of the storms are not severe. Let me back this up a little bit here. It's kind of hard to get the full radar here that I want you guys to see. I'll have to back it up a little bit more so that way you can see both sets of storms that we are watching. We're watching two sets. Unfortunately, they're in a different area. One's in the northern part of southeast Missouri. The other one is in the southern part of southeast Missouri. And we're using the Memphis radar site. So that storm you're seeing on the northwestern parts of Wayne County coming into that part of the county, it is so another radar another hail signature has just popped up on the storm in Ripley County to the northwest of Doniphan, showing 1-inch size hail. Waiting for a new scan to come up on that storm to kind of give us an idea. Still a pretty good hail core with that storm that has just once again kind of gotten stronger. Still watching the hail core now also get stronger just north of Wayne County as well. So we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to be here for a little while longer. Hope you guys are okay with that. I know it's 10:30 at night, But my plan here is to continue with our live streams on severe storms to kind of keep you updated on the potential of seeing some. We want to make sure we keep you guys safe, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But we're seeing things kind of start to blossom a little bit, and still in the Poplar Bluff area right now as it stands. We're not expecting, we still have a chance to see severe storms, but we're not expecting, the storms in Ripley County to affect us right now. But the one up in the Wayne County area, that one is that's a different story. So we're going to keep it here, and we're going to watch these storms as they kind of continue on at 35 miles an hour southeast, very much rain producers right now. And the big thing is we're not seeing big size hail. Inch size hail is possibly what we're seeing with most of it. And then also some strong winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. But nevertheless, once we get past the initial severe weather issues, then it's going to turn into a heavy rainfall for us as well. Angie, no. Not expecting. I did not see. Let me go ahead and let me turn on my velocity here. No, it's just heavy winds. And when I say heavy winds, I'm talking gusting at times to between 50 and 60 miles an hour. Not expecting not expecting any kind of tornadoes here with these two storms that we are watching. The atmosphere is just not set up to see that kind of thing tonight. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, the storms are just not, which is good news. We're not in that environment we were in a couple of weeks ago. That was a rare situation where we had, multiple waves of big supercells. Tonight, not like that at all. Thank you, Albert. I appreciate that. So tell me, since you're watching from Alaska, what's the weather up there where you are, my friend? So we're watching these two storms very carefully. I haven't gotten any updates from Paducah. I'm waiting to see what they're saying about that storm in Reynolds and Iron County. That one may end up being our strongest storm of the evening. Still haven't gotten any updates on that one. Also, the Ripley County storm as well. So let me go back into Ripley County for just a minute. I want to show folks what's going on the northwestern parts of Doniphan. That's where the heaviest part of the storm is. It's going to be coming into Doniphan very quickly here. So the warning has just gone away for Ripley County. So we don't have any storm warnings right now in Ripley County, although we do have them for Oregon County. Nothing right now in Ripley County. Well, a new one just popped up, so there you go. As I said that, a brand new warning has just been issued now for western Ripley County in southeast Missouri until 11 p.m. At 10:29, a severe storm was located along a line extending from 6 miles southeast of Handy, or about 9 miles northwest of Gatewood, 7 miles south of Alton. These storms are moving southeast at now 25 miles an hour. The 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail, Gatewood, Handy, and Briar are all going to be impacted with this storm. I know it says that on the screen, but I think there's going to be more towns involved in this storm. So that's kind of where we are right now. Two storms that we are watching, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for western Ripley County. We're talking quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. I want to go ahead and kind of zoom into this one just for a minute. I know that Doniphan wasn't listed in this particular warning, but what I do want to do, I do want to track it out, and I want to include Doniphan in this storm because obviously it's going to be on your doorstep. It has slowed down just a little bit. It slowed down. It is now moving 25 miles an hour. So Doniphan, if it holds together, it'll be on your doorstep at around 10:47 tonight in about 16 minutes. In Oxley in about 35 minutes from right now. Also Naylor in about 46 minutes. Neelyville in about 58 minutes. McDougall, Arkansas, in over an hour. So that kind of gives you an idea of this storm right now. But 16 minutes is what we are thinking in the Doniphan area, even though you are not currently under the particular warning, just outside that warning. I would go ahead and tag folks. If you know somebody who lives in Doniphan, I would go ahead and tag them in this and let them know that we do have a severe storm in the area, in the Doniphan area, or it's going to be in the Doniphan area coming up here in about 16 minutes. Also, other storms that we are watching. I want to go up to this storm right here in the Iron and Reynolds County area. This storm is moving southeast. Let's see here. I think we got a new update on this one. We did about 5 minutes ago. This one at 10:28, a severe storm was located near Lesterville, still moving southeast at around 35 miles an hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail is reported with this storm on radar. Here are a few towns that are be located in this storm. We're talking Annapolis, also Centerville, and Hogan. Those are a few locations that we are looking at with this particular storm. And a brand new warning has just been issued now for Wayne County with this storm. Let's get to it. And we're talking quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. We're talking northwestern Wayne County in southeastern Missouri. I know a lot of folks were tuning in from the Piedmont area. At 10:32, severe storms were located along a line extending from near Annapolis to 11 miles southwest of Glover, near Ellington, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail has been reported with this storm via the radar. Also, Piedmont, Sam Baker State Park, Lodi, and Mill Spring is all going to be impacted with this storm. So, if you know anybody who lives in Piedmont, Sam Baker State Park, Lodi, or Mill Spring, you might want to go ahead and tag them in the video and let them know they can watch live coverage of this storm. So, we've got two severe weather warnings that we are following right now. One is coming into Wayne County, and the other one is over in Ripley County. Doniphan is about to be impacted with a severe thunderstorm. Even though technically they are not in the warning, still I would go ahead and keep an eye on this radar until we get past this storm as it moves in. I'm going to look at two different radars here at the same time, try to get them both on screen. I want to make sure. Can I do this? Let me see here. I want to try to do something here. That's what I wanted to do. So I'm looking at the high resolution. I don't see any rotation in any of these storms. Number one, that's good news. There's no rotation with the storms. That is good news. And I'm going to look at to see where exactly, if there's hail showing up, and there is. So I'm going to pause the radar here when I get the newest scan. Okay, so a couple of things here that jump out to me. We've got two storms going on at the same time. So number one, let me draw on this a little bit. So the hail threat around Doniphan has really decreased. As you can see, a little bit of hail maybe just to the northwest of Doniphan. Also, the hail threat is up here coming in to the northwestern parts of Wayne County. We're going to have to deal with that storm. And really, on radar, maybe some bigger size hail than quarter size showing up in this storm here coming into Wayne County. The one in Ripley County, there's quite a bit of hail in Oregon County, but that's not reaching Ripley as of right now. We'll wait and see. I'll go back to one radar here. But that's kind of what we're looking at here. I wanted to put double radars on so that way you can kind of see both storms at the same time as we are tracking two different severe thunderstorm warnings, one coming in to the northern parts of Wayne County and the other one still in Ripley County as well. I know a lot of folks are hearing thunder, seeing some lightning. Lightning is wicked. Yes, I bet it is. I've missed quite a few comments here, so let me go back here for just a minute. Want to make sure, and that's right. Yeah, there is a big event going on in southern Butler County as well this weekend. Pouring down in Gatewood. Thank you, Karen. So that's where we are right now. It's 10:37, well over 200 folks right now tuning in. We appreciate that very much. It means a lot to me that you guys are tuning in on a Saturday night. You guys could be doing anything else. So the good news is there's some good news here. One of the things is now that storm you're looking at here on radar, the one that's coming in the northwestern Wayne County, it's far away from the radar site. I've got the Memphis radar site turned on because I'm watching these storms in Ripley County. I may go over to the Paducah site here in just a minute. I hear some thunder where I live, actually. No storm, so that's good news. So we've got a line of severe storms stretching from just west of Doniphan all the way back to West Plains. And then we're looking at another severe storm that is coming into the northern parts of Wayne County. And looking at the hail core in that one, it looks like it has decreased a little bit. Oh, no problem, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in. So these times that when I track these storms and I give you these times, they're not exact science, but it kind of gives you an idea of kind of where we are, or and it gives you an idea of where these storms are, and more importantly, when these storms might make its way into your area. It's amazing how I was looking at. I got a text message. We're almost at 200 shares here tonight on a Saturday night at 10:40 at night. If you haven't done so, please think about sharing the video. We want to reach as many people as we can. We want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing this. I enjoy it. See, Thundering in Naylor. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. Good to see you. So Thundering in Harville. It's thundering where I live. No, haven't seen any lightning yet. There's no rain where I live. Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate that. I'm gonna go back up to. Let me go to the storm here in western Ripley County. I've got two storms that we are following right now, and I want to make sure that we get the information out there on both. That is the plan here. Gatewood, lots of lightning and rain. Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. So this one is the storm right now that we're looking at right now in Ripley County. Let me turn on the hail here and see if. Remember earlier we weren't seeing a whole lot of hail with this storm, but like we said before, we have a history of these storms kind of pulsing down a little bit and then they'll pulse right back up. So we've got some hail being reported now, at least on radar here in Ripley County on the western side of Doniphan. So that's going on right here. And then let me go back up to the other storm that's coming in to, whoops, I didn't go far enough. There we go. This is the hail, the red you see here around Annapolis. And really, let me get rid of that real quick. So some bigger hail is showing up at least on radar around Highway 49, just around Annapolis, coming in to northern Wayne County. So we'll be watching that as well. And this was the main threat with these storms here tonight. We're not worried about really tornadic storms as much as we're worried about the potential of seeing some hail, some gusty winds, and then obviously some heavy rain as well, because these storms are only moving around 30 miles an hour. They're dropping a lot of rain. And I was looking at the Springfield area, and they have issued several flash flood warnings. And honestly, I think later on this evening, that'll be the main threat for us, will be the flash flooding potential. And a lot of the area, well, the entire area pretty much is under a flood watch. And we could see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain. And then some areas could even pick up around 5 inches of rain, depending on how slow these storms move. Let's see here. Raining now in Doniphan. Just rain, though, right, Heather? I don't see anything, at least in Doniphan yet, that suggests that it would be, any kind of hail coming into that area right now. starting to rain in Dexter. So as of right now, there's no storms in Dexter. I got the Memphis radar turned on, so I would see that if there was storms in Stoddard County. Right now, it's just some rain, maybe some lightning, but nothing severe. Nothing remotely severe right now in Stoddard County. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate that. Taylor, I'm going to say we still have a very, very low threat, but no, I think the tornado threat is next to zero right now. I think it's going to be, I'm pretty confident that, I'm not saying we couldn't see a spin up weak tornado, but right now we're not seeing that on radar. Nothing is showing up that appears to be that on radar. Amanda, thank you for the compliments. I really appreciate it. I really do. I do love this community. I love this. I love Southeast Missouri, and I love doing this. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Half-inch of rain, and yeah, and that's going to be the thing. This is going to turn into a quick, heavy rain event. It really will, because these storms are going to be training over each other, and they're going to be moving very, very slow. And that is why they did issue that flood watch, and that's why we're currently under that until 1:00 tomorrow afternoon. So let me check real quick. I'm going to make sure that there's no updates on this warning here in Ripley County. So this is the newest update, came out 1 minute ago, actually. This is for western Ripley County at 10:43. Severe storms still located along the line from 10 miles west of Dalton, moving south now. So it's moving due south at 30 miles an hour, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and quarter-size hail. Gatewood and Briar are going to be impacted with this storm. If I can, there we go. Gatewood and Briar are going to be impacted with this storm. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail still showing up on radar. And now it's moving, they're saying, south at 30 miles an hour. And you can see this storm. It's kind of started to expand outward a little bit, and it's moving. It's trying to move across Butler County, but it's not quite there yet. So right now, Amanda, or make that Ashton. I'm sorry. Right now, Bluff will miss out on this right here. I don't think it's going to have enough time to back build to get into Bluff. But that being said, we have to watch. We're going to watch this one right here. As it continues, the way its current track southeast, this storm too might miss Bluff as well. So we'll have to wait and see how it all tracks. And once again, it could shift. It can go a little farther south, like this storm in Ripley County. It can go more south than it could, southeast. But we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to stay here as long as it takes until this weather gets out of here and turns into a heavy rain event. That is the plan. 10:46 on Saturday night. Glad to have you alongside as we continue to track severe storms across the area. The entire area is under a severe thunderstorm watch. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings for Wayne and Ripley County. They just took down the severe thunderstorm warning for Oregon County. That is good news. And right now we are left with just 2 warnings. So and this is not going to look the best because I've got 2 different radars I'm looking at here. I need to be on Paducah's radar for Springfield, although I just got something else here. This is a special weather statement that just popped up. This is for, so this special weather statement, there it goes. Now it popped up. I was hoping it would. Okay, so this is a special weather statement, and this is for gusty winds and 50 miles an hour wind gust. This is at 1046. Doppler radar was tracking a cluster of strong storms near Budapest, 8 miles northeast of Donovan, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. Locations in this particular strong storm are going to be Donovan, Naylor, Budapest, also Milltown, Oxley, Fairdealing, and Grandin. We're talking wind gust of 50 miles an hour and half-inch size hail, and moving southeast at 30 miles an hour, and that is this cluster that we were just talking about right here. That's what we were talking about. So if you live in those areas, you can anticipate a strong storm. Right now it's not severe, but that could change. 50 miles an hour is pretty close to the threshold. Got to be 60 or quarter size hail. And right now we're sitting at 50 miles an hour with winds on that particular storm. I know I've missed a lot of comments, and I apologize. I'll go back to them in just a second. What I wanted to do, but I'm going to have to do this a different way, so bear with me. It's going to look a little bit. I'm going to go to the Paducah radar site, and I know that kind of doesn't. It looks a little bit murky, and I'm going to do a double radar here. And what I want to do is I'm doing the hail. So let me kind of zoom in just a little bit here. I want to make sure you can see this on your screen. I don't think you can. I'm going to have to back out just a little bit. So we still have the hail coming in to northern Wayne County. This is 1-inch size hail that's been confirmed on radar here in this storm. And then we still have quite a bit of hail that is showing up on radar in western Ripley County, which is right in here. So I'm drawing that on the right side of your screen. So that's where the hail threat is right now with those two storms. And just because we're here, let me turn on the velocity. I don't see any rotation. I'm going to zoom in just for myself. Nope, just gusty winds. So that's good news. That's what you want. We don't want to see rotation, just gusty winds is what we are seeing right now on radar. I'm going to get rid of that double radar for just a moment, put this back into motion, and I want to go back to the Memphis radar site. I'm trying to go to Memphis, but it's not letting me for some reason. There we go. You gotta love technology at its finest. Let me put this radar back into motion here. Let me check the warning here So here's the newest update for the storm in Wayne County. This one just came out at 10:49. A severe storm continues until 11:15 for northwestern Wayne County. At 10:49, severe storms were located along the line extending from near Annapolis to near Piedmont, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour, still projecting 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. Locations in this storm, here they are: Piedmont, Sam A. Baker State Park, Lodi, and Mill Spring is the areas right now that are going to be impacted with this storm as it continues to move southeast. And right now, it is right over the top of Piedmont right now as we speak. So if you know somebody in Piedmont, let them know that they've got a severe storm right there on their doorstep. The Weather Service office in Little Rock has issued a special weather statement for a lot of counties, or make that Memphis, I'm sorry. They have issued a special weather statement for a lot of counties in north central Arkansas. A storm now is just on the west side of Donovan. The heaviest part of this severe thunderstorm is on the western side of Donovan. If you live in Naylor, you've got a storm coming in your direction. The good news is it's not severe, but it is strong. We're talking wind gust of around 50 miles an hour. We're talking half-inch size hail, and that storm is trying to backbuild into Butler County as well. Not quite there yet, but we're watching that storm. The one that's in Piedmont right now, that one, if it holds together, that one is going to have a better chance of impacting us here in Poplar Bluff in Butler County. That's the one that we're watching very carefully to see if it continues to make its way in to the northern parts of Butler County. So we have that. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings right now. One for northwestern Wayne, and the other one out in Ripley County as well. Still showing quarter-size hail, winds in excess of 60 miles an hour. It's moving. This one's moving south at 30 miles an hour. It is actually moving into northern parts of northeastern Arkansas as we speak. So once again, no tornadoes. Not expecting that this evening. Mainly going to be a gusty wind and hail threat. Power is flickering off and on. All right, Toby, is that going to be, that's in, don't tell me, that's in Oregon County, right? And that wouldn't surprise me. You guys have been rocked in Oregon County here this evening. Karen, yes. So we're not once this gets through this evening, we're not expecting severe storms, but we are expecting the possibility of heavier rainfall. We are expecting heavy rainfall here tonight with storms, just your typical summertime storms, thunder, lightning, and rain. But the severe threat is right now. If we escape with no major issues with severe storms right now, then it's just going to be a heavy rain event the rest of the night. Looking at the radar site in Springfield, and really every county from Springfield all the way to Shannon County right now is under a flash flood warning right now. Let's see here. I think they're going. Which storm, Denise? You talking about the one in Wayne County, or you talking about the one over in Ripley County? Sorry, checking two different computers here at the same time. I'm listening to the weather. I'm sorry. I'm watching and reading what the Weather Service office in Paducah has put out here about these storms in Ripley County and over in Wayne County as well. Okay, so the one in Wayne County is still showing quarter size hail. The one there in Wayne County, that one is coming into Piedmont, and then we're still watching the storm in Butler County. Nothing severe. Chastity, is that in Butler County? You talking about where you're seeing the lightning at? So these storms were moving southeast at around 25 to 30 miles an hour. 160 and J Highway. Thank you so much, Bradley, for that. So the Weather Service in Paducah, they were talking about the storm that is currently in Wayne County right now. It is the strongest of the two that we are watching right now on radar. There is, let's see here. So there it is. So another hail core has just popped up literally on the Butler and Ripley County line, 1-inch size hail. I'm going to zoom into that for just a minute here. That's on the western side of Poplar Bluff. Nothing severe right now, but we are watching a very strong storm. Let me turn on the radar here to check the hail. Not much in the way of hail right now. If we're getting any hail, it's going to be right in this area here. That's kind of where we're not under a warning right now, but also there is some hail. Just got a new, well, there's a new radar scan. You just saw it pop up on your screen the same time I did. So we've got that. We've got this right here, and I know you can't see it on your screen. I'm going to try to back out, but we also have some decent size hail. Looks like quarter size, maybe a little bit bigger, starting to show up north of Piedmont, right over Piedmont, just north of Piedmont as well. So those are the three areas that we are really watching right now. Let me turn the radar back on. No warnings right now for western Butler County, but this storm has backbuilded. It's grown a little bit, which we were thinking that could happen. And of course, right now it is coming into the western parts of Butler County. We're going to watch that one. Also, the storm in Wayne County and in Ripley County as well. So these are the three areas that we are watching right now. Paducah is watching the storm that has crossed over into Butler County as well. We don't have any warnings officially on that one. The strongest part of the storm in Ripley County, it is moving off to the Arkansas state line as we speak. So that one should not be impacting much of Ripley County much longer. I would say the severe threat in Ripley County from west of Doniphan has ended tonight, except for you'll have heavy rainfall to deal with the remainder of the evening. So let me go ahead and track this storm, even though there's not a warning out with it just yet. I'm going to track this storm as it continues to go southeast at 30 miles an hour. This will kind of give you an idea in Butler County, even though there's not a warning out for it. In Oglesville in about 26 minutes, in Brosley in about 28 minutes, Culin in about 30 minutes, Wilhelmina in about 43, Glenonville in about 40 minutes from right now, Campbell 54 minutes, and in Malden in about an hour from now. That is this storm here on the western side of Butler County that we are watching. No warnings for it just yet, but it is a strong storm that we are watching very carefully. And the Weather Service in Memphis has just extended the special weather statement to Clay County, Arkansas. I'm going to go back and look at some of the comments here I've been missing. So they just took down the warning for Ripley County, as you've seen on the screen. So right now, there's no warning for Ripley County. There is still the warning that is in effect for Wayne County. So we're going to be watching. I'm going to move the radar a little bit north here just so we can watch both storms as they come in. So right now, there is no warning in effect for Ripley County. Nothing in effect for Butler County, although we are watching some strong storms that are moving to the west side of Poplar Bluff right now as we speak. So these are moving about 30 miles an hour. Special weather statement has just been issued from the Weather Service in Paducah. Let's go ahead and put that on screen. And this is at 11 o'clock. Radar is indicating strong storms extending from near Harville to near Oxley to near Maynard, Arkansas, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. Wind gust of 50 to 55 miles an hour is possible, along with penny-sized hail. Let's talk about some of the locations involved with this strong storm. They include Poplar Bluff, Doniphan, Naylor, Neelyville, also Harville, Budapest, Gatewood, Milltown, Oxley, Fairdealing, and Briar. These are the locations that are involved in this storm. It is a special weather statement, not a warning, but remember, it is strong enough to where we got to keep our eyes on it. We're talking 50 to 55 miles an hour winds, and the threshold for severe storms is 60 miles an hour. So we're very close to potentially this storm being a little bit stronger. And if I were you, if you know somebody, folks are already starting to do it. If you know somebody who lives in Butler County, go ahead. And you may want to tag them in the video and let them know that if nothing else, a strong storm is going to be moving into the area very, very soon, as we tracked this a moment ago here, and this storm is barreling down on Poplar Bluff. It's going to be moving southeast at around 30 miles an hour. So I know where I live, I can see the lightning from the window here. So it is getting closer. We're also watching that storm that is in the around Piedmont right now. Pretty strong storm. I'm going to turn back on because I'm not worried about tornadic storms with this particular cluster tonight. This is about the hail threat and the potential in damaging winds as well. So I turned on the hail threat here with the radar, and right here to the east of Piedmont, I drew that one really bad. I'm sorry about that. Let me try that again. Let me try that again. All right, there we go. So here is the hail threat here with this storm in Wayne County, and a little bit of hail on the west side of Poplar Bluff. Don't have a lot of hail, but a little bit. And then those storms, that cluster did move into Arkansas. So that's kind of where we are right now with the two storms that we are watching. We're watching the storms in Wayne County, just east of Piedmont, and we are watching the storms just west of Poplar Bluff. Matter of fact, the storms in Wayne County is about to cross over Highway 67 right now. So I would say from the Butler County line all the way up to about Greenville. That is the areas right now that's going to be impacted with the bulk of the precipitation and the bad weather in that storm there in Wayne County. We are 8 shares away right now from 200. If you don't mind, hit that share button for us. And I did, Sarah, but I can do that again. Not a problem. So the heaviest of the storm here in Wayne County we're looking at, the heaviest is going to be just to the east of Piedmont, at least according to radar. It looks like really between Piedmont and Greenville is going to be where the strongest of the storm is, and that's where the hail threat has been with this storm as well. So I do think in the Piedmont area, as you can see right here, here is the hail threat. The hail threat's going to be right here between Greenville and in Piedmont. That's where the hail threat is to the west of 67 and just east of the Piedmont area on Highway 49, I believe that is. That's going to be where the hail threats are right now in Wayne County as it continues to move southeast at around 30 miles an hour. Let me pan back out just a little bit here as we continue to watch these storms. And what's going to happen eventually is this northern storm is going to catch up to the southern end and kind of merge. And then when that happens, I do think that this severe weather threat is going to be over for a lot of our counties. It's just going to be the heavy rainfall threat coming in later on this evening, as we're going to see waves and waves and waves of showers and storms all night long. The good news is we're not going to be seeing severe weather. It's just going to be very heavy rainfall tonight, lasting through the first part of your Sunday before all of this gets out of here later on tomorrow morning into tomorrow evening. So the only warning that we do have in effect right now, that is the one in Wayne County. We've been hearing reports of a quarter-size hail that has been reported in Wayne County just to the east of the Piedmont area. I'm looking at some other stuff here on the computers, trying to figure out to make sure that I'm not missing anything from Paducah. So bear with me just 1 second here. Just want to make sure that we've got everything that we need here. There we go. So Paducah is watching that storm in Wayne County very closely. They were talking about the storm in just west of Poplar Bluff. The heaviest part of that storm is just going to miss the Poplar Bluff area, going to be to the south of Poplar Bluff. But we're not anticipating any kind of, well, I mean, it could pulse up, but right now we don't have anything showing up as far as hail is concerned. A brand new warning has just been issued now for the rest of Wayne County. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County now, pretty much all of Wayne County until 11:30 tonight. At 11:06, severe storms were located along a line extending from near Sam A. Baker State Park to 6 miles southwest of Greenville to near Williamsville, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. Locations in this area. Here we go. Someone's asking about it. Here are the locations: Greenville, Lake Wappapello State Park, also Williamsville, Wappapello, Shook, Lodi, Cascade, and Mill Spring is all under the gun with this storm. We're talking 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. That is what we are seeing right here in the central part of Wayne County. That severe storm has just moved to the east of Piedmont. So Greenville right now is about to get the bulk of the storm, and then eventually it'll be going to the lake area. So if you know somebody who is maybe camping right now at Lake Wappapello, you might want to give them a call and let them know that eventually, very, very shortly, they will have a severe storm. Matter of fact, 1-inch size hail has been reported again just east of Piedmont. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see the storm. I'm going to track this storm here in Wayne County at 30 miles an hour. Remember, this is going to be not going to be exact science, but it will give you an idea of when this storm might be in your community. Let's talk about this here real quickly. It's going to be in the Rumbar area in about 37 minutes. I may have tracked that one wrong. I think I did. Let me retrack that. I retracked that one. There we go. Want to make sure I get the lake in here. Lake Wappapello for sure. There we go. 27 minutes at Lake Wappapello. So if you know somebody there, so it should be there about 11:40ish, 11:37 at Lake Wappapello, and then Rumbar in about 36 minutes, and then Fisk in 47 minutes, possibly getting into Dudley as well, Brosley later on this evening. But that kind of gives you an idea of what we are thinking time-wise for that storm in Wayne County. That is the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have right now is for Wayne County. We're watching strong storms in Butler County to about Poplar Bluff southward, but no warnings right now with those storms in Butler County. Looking at our hail, and not much. And the good news is the hail threat here with this storm in Wayne County has really dwindled a little bit. And we've got a little bit of hail now, which is where that 1-inch hail is being detected on radar. It is just south of Poplar Bluff. Those are the only two areas right now that we are seeing any kind of hail showing up on radar. There's lots of lightning, lots of thunder, lots of rain, and that's what we're going to be seeing pretty much the remainder of tonight as we make our way into Sunday morning. It's 11:10 right now on your Saturday night. We thank you again for tuning in. It's starting to rain in Naylor, so we're not expecting severe storms. I think the severe weather threat has ended in Carter County, Shannon County, Reynolds County. I think those areas for the time being is not going to have severe weather issues. However, heavy rain is going to be likely. And even though we're seeing the storms start to move out right now, keep in mind that we are going to have the potential of seeing more showers and storms throughout tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to put on I know you can't see it here. I don't want to take the radar off right now just because I want to focus on what we've got going on. But later on this evening, we're going to get a small break after we get this rain out of here tonight. But then starting in the morning again, we're going to have more rain moving in. And that rain tomorrow morning is going to be on the heavier side. These storms are moving toward the Missouri Boot Heel right now. Someone's asking about Caruthersville. So right now, they are moving very, very slowly Becca. They're moving about 30 miles an hour, and it's going to take a couple of hours to get here. As of right now, we don't have any weather warnings with these storms in the Poplar Bluff area stretching down toward Lawrence County and Clay County, Arkansas. Just strong storms. We're talking wind gust of 40 miles an hour, maybe some pea-size hail. The main threat right now is going to be in Carter County, or make that not Carter, Wayne County, rather. Wayne County has the only warning as of right now. You're welcome, Becca. No problem. Let's see, family in Malden. So Malden, as of right now, they're going to get some strong storms in their area coming up very, very shortly. Right now, the strong storms stretch from about Poplar Bluff all the way back into northeast Arkansas. We are watching the storms coming in to Wayne County right now. Let me kind of make sure there's been no information, nothing new from the Weather Service in Paducah on that storm in Wayne County. We are watching it now as it kind of zoom in a little bit here. It's in Greenville, just south of Greenville along Highway 67. It is between 67 and Highway D in Lake Wappapello. So if you know somebody camping right now at Lake Wappapello, maybe they're at Redmond Creek campgrounds, maybe Peoples Creek campgrounds, you might want to give them a call and let them know that a severe storm is going to make their way in. We're talking quarter-size hail possibly. We're talking wind gust of 60 miles per hour. Those will be the main threats with the storms coming in for tonight. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate that. In Poplar Bluff, just reporting some rain. No wind, just some rain right now. That's good news. Thank you so much for that. You guys play a big part in this, letting me know what's going on. Hail on 142. Patricia, can you tell me what county we're talking about? Is that going to be, I'm assuming, Butler County? It looks like, as soon as I read that comment, it looks like that we've got maybe a hail core starting to once again pop up on radar. And there we go. Yes, we do. Just south of Poplar Bluff right now is where the hail is, right there where I've got it drawn for you on the map. That is kind of where the hail core is starting to show up here. And I want to zoom in here. Going to be around the Harville area right now is kind of where this map, kind of what the radar right now is showing us. So we'll watch that very carefully. No warnings with that storm. So if you live in, let's say, Brosley, if you live in Culin, see Naylor getting rocked right now with some heavy rain. Neelyville right now also getting it. Also, if you live in Campbell, Malden, these storms are heading in your direction. No warning with that storm. We just got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, though. This one for Clay County, Arkansas. We've got that one that just moved out of Ripley County, and now it pretty much covers almost the entire Clay County area. So it will be moving in to the Boot Heel coming up this evening as well. Well, I appreciate that, Trevor. I really do. Power almost. Ashley, where's that at, if you don't mind me asking? Storming big in Naylor, but all right, Pam. Well, good night to you. You should be just fine. Josh, here in the next, I would say in the next 20 to 30 minutes, this will be out of Poplar Bluff. We're watching another storm to the north of Bluff, though. It is severe in Wayne County, so we'll have to wait and see what the Weather Service does. Power went out in the middle of town. All right, Casey, thank you so much. So power reported being out in the middle of Poplar Bluff. So we're getting some reports now of power flickering in Poplar Bluff. All right, Josh. So in Neelyville, I would say in the next 15 minutes, the most intense part of the storm will be out of the area in Neelyville. But remember, you're still going to have quite a bit of rain to deal with, thunder and lightning. But right now, no severe weather warnings for Butler County as of right now. I'm going to check the Weather Service in Paducah. Power went off and came back on by the golf course. Thank you for that. Let's see what Paducah is saying about the severe storms in Wayne County, also in southern Butler County. Nothing warned on right now. So power went off at 11:30. I'm assuming power is still off. Thank you. So at break time, nothing going on right now, which makes sense because most of the storms are to the south of Poplar Bluff. That makes sense. You're welcome, Samantha. Thank you so much for tuning in. Somebody was commenting about me getting a raise. Well, I appreciate that, but that's okay. I don't get paid for it tonight either. I'm okay with that. I do it because I care about the community. This is day 2 of my vacation, and I kind of figured that tonight would be the night where we'd be going live for a while. Sure enough, I'm glad I brought my equipment home with me to do that. So we're going to zoom into this storm. I know a lot of folks are wondering about Poplar Bluff, but I also want to talk about the lake area real quick here. Severe storm right over 67 right now, just south of Greenville. So between Greenville and the county line, that's where the most severe part of the storm is right now in Wayne County. It is getting ever closely now to Lake Wapapello. Still severe thunderstorm warning. Let me make sure that nothing has changed. No texts have changed with that storm. Let me back out here. Let me read this text here from the one in Clay County, Arkansas. 3/4 inch size hail for Clay County, Arkansas. This one goes until midnight. 8 miles northwest of Corning. Still moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. Piggott, let me go ahead and highlight the areas here. I hear the rain falling where I live, so that's the storm has got to where I live. Piggott, Corning, Rector, also Reno. Those areas are all going to be impacted by this severe thunderstorm warning. We're talking penny-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with that storm that's in Clay County, Arkansas. Waiting to see what the Weather Service office does in Wayne County right now to kind of see if they extend that farther south or if they let it expire coming up in a few minutes. See, Deputy Stockton, he is near Holiday Landing, and it's coming on down. I know where that's at very well, Mark. Be careful up there near the lake area. Severe thunderstorm warning right now for your area, my friend. And you're going to be impacted with some heavy rain, some wind gust of up to 60 miles per hour, and we're talking about maybe quarter-size hail possible with that storm as well. Constant rain, lightning, and thunder in Doniphan, close to Oxley. Thank you, Karen. So the good news is the severe weather threat, at least for right now, has ended in Ripley County. Although what you just said, Karen, you're going to see that for a little bit longer with the heavier rain and the thunder, the lightning, and maybe some gusty winds at maybe 40 miles an hour. Looking at the Weather Service right now from Paducah, they haven't really released anything new on that storm in Wayne County. No warnings, by the way, for Butler County other than that special weather statement that we mentioned earlier on. Winds could be gusting to around 45 to 50 miles per hour. And the strongest winds, by the way, are going to be right in this area here. This is where, if you live in these areas, that's where the winds, it could be the strongest coming up in the next maybe 10 to 15 minutes with that storm just south of Poplar Bluff. So keep that in mind. Nothing, don't have a warning in effect right now for that area, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Going to go up to this warning here in Wayne County expires in about 9 minutes. So we're going to see what they do with that warning. We'll see if it continues. Let me turn on I want to check and see about the potential hail. There's still a good area of hail right now. This one is right over 67 Highway 2. It is stretching from just south of Greenville to the county line. So we'll kind of wait and see. We're gonna hang with this storm. We've also got some hail showing up as well, right just south of Poplar Bluff too, right in this area here. So a couple of key areas that we're watching right now with these storms are showing hail, and we're going to keep watching them as they continue to make their way south. They're moving at around 30 miles an hour, not moving fast at all, Malden's about to get impacted with some strong storms coming in as well. So, Malden, you're going to be getting some lightning and rain coming up very soon. Also, just south of Popper Bluff, stretching from Neelyville over to Culin along Highway 53, is also getting some strong wind gusts right now and some heavy rain. So, power's trying to go off just south of Bluff along Highway 53. Thank you so much. Hopefully, it's able to stay on. I know our linemen, man, they were phenomenal a couple of weeks ago, getting power restored very quickly. Biggest disaster since 2009, and they did not rest until the power was back on for pretty much everybody. Strong winds and hard rain. See 67. Cars have to stop south of Greenville. I can see that, Mark. I can definitely see that here by looking at the radar. The good news is the storm, the heaviest part of the storm, is now moving just south of Greenville. It's actually most of it is just east of the highway right now, Highway 67. However, that being said, we also have someone said so far so good at Wapapello. Sarah, that's about to change. The storm is about to be impacting your area there at Lake Wapapello. Should be coming in as we speak. You should be seeing some rain, and very, very shortly, you're might going to be seeing the heavier rain and possibly even a little bit of small hail as well. That's kind of where we are right now. Once these get out of here, once this moves through, then we're going to be left with just the possibility of seeing heavy rain the remainder of the night. Not going to be seeing heavy rain all night, but just intermittently, we're going to see heavy rainfall. Boy, you're not kidding, Kaylee. When I did that drive through a couple of weeks ago, getting some storm damage photos and video, that's all we saw was nothing but linemen out there busting their tail to make sure that they were getting customers back on as fast as they could. So now Eric is saying thunder and lightning and rain at Lake Wapapello. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. So we're going to wait and see. The warning should be expiring in about 5 minutes. So we're kind of wait and see if they move this warning farther south. And I do think this storm it's going to miss Popper Bluff. It's actually going to move maybe toward the Stoddard County area, looking more like maybe Dexter, Puxico. Those areas could be impacted very soon with this storm coming out of Wayne County. We'll kind of wait and see what the Weather Service does. See, power is flickering in Neelyville, it says. Hopefully, Kaylee, you didn't have a lot of damage. Hopefully, you were able to get most of that stuff cleaned up if shortly after those storms moved out of there. They did. We saw a lot of tree crews in the area. Saw a lot of those. They were here for a couple of weeks after the storms too, getting everything taken care of. Absolutely. So I should say, almost said Wayne County, Paducah. Right now, they're in talks of possibly extending that severe thunderstorm warning a little bit farther south. We'll kind of wait and see what they decide to do. The only warnings we've got right now is Wayne County, and we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings for the Clay County, Arkansas area, and that's it right now. So Jess says it's calmed down in Popper Bluff. Yes, it has. The storm is south of Popper Bluff. There is some more to the north. I don't think you're going to be impacted with very much in the way of strong storms in Popper Bluff, except for heavy rainfall. That's going to be a good possibility. I would say, Adam, the storm coming into Bluff right now isn't strong, but we're going to see heavy rainfall. The heaviest part of the storm is south of Popper Bluff. It's actually where I'm at, where I live right now. I can hear it thundering, and I can see the lightning out the window. Waiting for Paducah now. They're coming up on 3 minutes. They haven't extended the warning outward. They haven't given any more text. I say that they did at 11:22. Let's see, 11:21. They were still tracking severe storms around Greenville, moving southeast at 30 miles an hour. Greenville, Lake Wappapello, Williamsville still going to be impacted with the storm. So we'll kind of wait and see. So I would assume Stoddard County is going to be the next to get possibly warned on coming up. Maybe northern parts of Butler County too. But I would say Puxico, Dexter, definitely those areas is where that storm out of Wayne County is coming. That'll be the areas that I do think that we will get another warning possibly issued here this evening with that storm holding together. Still showing about an inch size hail in that storm. Let me go ahead before that storm expires. Let me kind of see where the hail is. So yeah, we're getting a pretty good hail signature right now, just north of Lake Wappapello, right in here, along maybe Highway D there in Wayne County. You see that yellow there? That's a little bit bigger than 1-inch size hail. So it would not surprise me if we see a brand new warning that would pop up with this storm. The warning expires in about 2 minutes, so we'll kind of wait and see what the Weather Service office does. Now, remember what you just saw there a moment ago. That is just radar indicated. It's not been confirmed. Radar indicated only. See, heavy rain just hit in Neelyville, lightning as well. That's about right from what we're seeing here on radar. I can hear the rain really coming down where I live on the eastern part of the county. Let's see here. Looking at trying to get the newest radar scan to pop up here. And I'd say in Puxico, even though there's not a warning out, if you know somebody who lives in Puxico, you might want to go ahead and tag them or maybe give them a call and tell them a storm is coming their direction. There's no warning on this storm in Stoddard County, just looking at the radar trends and looking at what we're seeing right now. Thank you, Beverly. Have a great night. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. I'm hoping that we'll be able to end the video very shortly ourselves. That would be the goal here. It's coming up on midnight. You're very much welcome. So the warning will be expiring in less than 1 minute from right now, and that will kind of give me an idea of what we're going to do the rest of the night. If they continue the warning in Stoddard County, we'll keep going. I know Kennett is going to be impacted coming up with these storms as well. The main line has kind of sped up a little bit in northeast Arkansas, just a little bit. Oh, you're welcome, Adam. Thank you so much. But that's good. That's good, Aaron. Not hearing any hail right now in Wappapello. That's great. That's great news. Hopefully that continues. So now the warning has been taken down for Wayne County. It just expired. So there's no other warnings right now in our area except for Clay County, Arkansas. So with that being said, I'm going to, if you know somebody that lives in Puxico, they'll make sure and let them know that there's at least, if nothing else, a very strong storm that's going to make its way into Stoddard County very, very shortly. I'd say Puxico, Dexter, those are going to be the areas where that storm is going to be impacting. You're going to hear a lot of thunder, see a lot of lightning in Cullin, Malden coming up, also around Neelyville. The good news is Brosley, right now, no warnings, not expecting any warnings really to be issued for Butler County. All right, so I think we're back now. I think we had an issue. Our internet went out, so I hope you're still with me. There it goes. Okay. Let me know if you can still hear me. I apologize for the interruption. Let me get my radar back on. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, for Butler County has just been issued. All right, so there we go. Okay, so our internet went out here at the house. We had that big lightning bolt, and then it took out my internet. So I apologize for that. All right, so let me get back in rhythm here. All right, so we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is for Butler County and southeast Missouri, also southeastern Wayne County, western Stoddard County until midnight. So here we go now. So let's get this back, and I do apologize for the interruption. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and a quarter-size hail is with this storm. Severe storms were located along a line extending from Shook to Lake Wapapello State Park to near Hendrickson. They were more severe storms close to the Arkansas border around Neelyville as well. These storms are moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. Here are the locations that are involved in this storm. They are Popper Bluff, Greenville, Lake Wapapello State Park, Puxico, Neelyville, Hewlin, Fisk, Dudley, Hendrickson, also Harville as well, and Shook as well as Rumbar. So those are the areas right now. As you can see with the storm, it is that southern part of that storm that we talked about. And we were thinking that this might happen. And the Weather Service office, these two storms have pretty much merged together. These two right here, we're talking about right here, are kind of merging together a little bit. So that's kind of what we were thinking. And thank goodness our internet came back when it did. All right. So now we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning now that is for Stoddard County. We talked about that a moment ago. Puxico is going to be in that just west of Dexter. Also, now the southeastern parts of Butler County. Those are the areas right now that we are seeing the strong storms. Let's see. Nevaeh, I live north of Popper Bluff. So just north of Popper Bluff, how far north of Popper Bluff? Really, the strongest storm that came into from Wayne County is going to be in the northeastern parts, rather, of Butler County. Let's see here. I'm looking at the Weather Service now that my internet came back. I'm able to do multiple things again here. Let me check. Let me look at the hail core here with these storms and kind of see where the hail is. So there's a couple of areas here. The biggest, or I should say, the most concentrated areas for the hail size is going to be right here in the northwest part of Butler County, going into Wayne County, and then a little bit of hail showing up on radar just south, or I should say, right around Hewlin is where we're seeing those two at. So you can see the outline here in the warning. Oops, let me turn back the radar. Let me get the radar back on real quick. There we go. Once again, no rotation with these storms, just some wind, some gusts, some hail. But primarily, it's going to be a very heavy rainfall event too. I say that, and I think I'm hearing a little bit of hail here where I live on the eastern part of the county too. Very small hail, though. It's hitting the window right behind me. But right now, the warnings are for Butler County, Stoddard County, also Wayne County. I'll put that back on the screen. It expires in about 21 minutes. Quarter size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, southeastern Wayne County, also Butler County, western Stoddard County. Here are the locations again for these storms. I think it's going to be just south of Popper Bluff. I know it says Bluff on the screen. I think it looks like it's going to be just south of Popper Bluff. I know what the Weather Service is referring to. They're referring to this right here. This area right here is what the Weather Service is talking about being for Poplar Bluff. I think the heaviest part is going to be the northeastern part of Butler County, going in to the Puxico area and then into western Stoddard County. So it's kind of where we are right now. And really, it's just maybe we're talking nickel size to quarter size hail reported, possibly 60-mile-per-hour wind gust is also a possibility with these storms as they continue to move southeast at around 35 miles an hour. And then once this line gets through, like we pretty much say all the time, once this line gets through, that is when we're going to see this shift to a more heavy rainfall event. And I know I lost power, didn't lose power. I lost my internet connection for a little bit. So thank you for staying on with us. I didn't know if I was going to get it back in time or not. So that just happens. We got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that has also been issued now for the Missouri Boot Heel. Let's get to that one real quickly. 3/4 inch size hail. This one is in effect for our counties of Clay County and eastern Arkansas, western Pemiscot, and Dunklin counties until 12:30 in the morning. At 11:39, severe storms were located 7 miles east of Noble or 9 miles southeast of Corning, moving southeast at 35 miles an hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, penny-size hail are going to be possibly with these storms. Here are the locations in this storm's path, and I'll read off a few of these storms. Let's see here. Paragould, Kennett, Caruthersville, Malden, also Piggott, Corning, Hayti, Steele, Campbell, Rector, Marmaduke. Those are the areas that we're really going to be zoning in on. So if you know somebody who lives in these areas, go ahead and send them a text. You might want to tag them in the video as well. So that way they can see that where these storms are and where exactly they are heading here this evening. Now, once this gets out of here, this will be the only batch of severe storms that we're going to be seeing here tonight. I do think that once this gets out of here, then we're going to see a lot less. One of my deputy friends sent me a video of just how hard it's pouring down and some hail, it looks like, as well from one of these storms as it moved through. So hopefully they're okay. And I haven't heard of any power outages other than we did have some power that flickered here across parts of Butler County. So we've got the storms now that are moving its way into the Missouri Boot Heel. Heavy rain right now in Malden. You're very much welcome, Miss Bridges. Absolutely. Have a good night. Get some rest. Get some rest. I'll be able to go back on vacation as soon as we get through these severe storms tonight. So as you can see on the radar, it's not a clear cut where the severe parts are. Let me go and see where the hail is. That's kind of what I've been basing this pretty much on tonight because it's pretty much a hail threat, a little bit of wind, but mainly a hail threat. So right now we're getting some good indications of some hail that's on the northeastern parts of Butler County, just west of Puxico. Also a little bit just north of Malden right now. That is on the Stoddard and Dunklin. Hail now near the, what is that, Vegas area, just southeast of Culin, going into those areas. So that's kind of where we are right now with our storms here tonight. And once all this gets out of here, then it's going to transition into a heavy rainfall event.